mira. Del norte.
Oh man, I feel like that was my best intro ever.
Yeah, not bad, hey, not bad. Saying, I can go pro. You know it as well. I also know you can dance. You should join me next time. And yes, I feel like you've also deserved a bit of a break. You've earned it.
Thanks.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Good job.
Hey, thank you.
Wjedź do elektryzującego świata esportu i zagraj z nami. Moc energii zapewnia elektryczna Kia EV6.
And hello everybody, back in the Samsung Galaxy Ultraliga. Let's get excited for yet another best of 5 of today. Yesterday we had a banger series between two of the best teams in the league so far. Today the third and the fourth place are going to fight for another chance to get into the final. And we will be going with the pre-show with the same squad as yesterday. Hello Veteran, Solari and Gleb.
Hello, hello. Good to hear you, good to see you, everybody. And yeah, yesterday we had 5 great maps. I really enjoyed yesterday. It felt like maybe you were about to see a first reverse sweep in a while. And it didn't happen in the end. It was close, it was almost there, but it didn't happen today. Forsaken versus Back to the Game. Two teams that I feel like are very close in terms of level to each other. So that means we could have another 5 maps. I'm hoping for that.
And maybe a reverse sweep. Just one for a change after yesterday. I would love it.
Yeah, I was really surprised that yesterday was going to be the first reverse sweep. Like, people were saying ever in Ultraliga, that would have been insane. Wasn't to be. I do love how close it was though, because both teams were playing at a really, really, really good level. They both had their really good strengths that they were able to show. So I was really excited about that series.
I would love to quickly jump into the prediction and see how you betted on this game. As we can see, almost everybody went with Back to the Game. Only Miha and DrBrilmann believes in Forsaken.
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing that I said like yesterday. Back to the Game, I feel like in terms of best of 5, I mean, both of these teams don't have experience, but I feel like if I were to trust a coaching staff, I prefer Back to the Game coaching staff because they are way more experienced than Naturalnie Forsaken coaching staff. So I feel like they have more knowledge on how to approach best of 5s. And Naturalnie Forsaken coaching staff, both are rookies. Players are rookies, most of them. So it feels like there is not much experience, and in best of 5 they could be a little bit stressed up. But I still believe in the players and in the coaching staff more. So if I had to pick an experienced coaching staff plus rookie squad, other than rookie plus rookie, I always pick the first one because I just feel like it's gonna be a better combination out of these two.
To me, I think I wasn't a believer of Back to the Game at the beginning of the season at all. but I gotta say they grew up on me quite a lot. I've seen a lot of progression through them, especially ever since they started boot camping somewhere in the beginning of the split. You can see just how rapidly the growth started going for them. And now I am at the point where I believe in them. I'm not sure how prepared they are for the best of 5, but well, that's why we're here today, to see, to find out.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, for me, I actually really like that you brought up the coaching staff thing, because the thing about Back to the Game is that their styles should be completely illegal in Season 14. Top lane is not really in a state where you would expect many carries to be done, but they've all in on that identity, said these are the strengths on our lineup, and it's working for them, and it should work for them. I actually really do approve of that kind of thing, where instead of trying to force your players to do something that they might be uncomfortable with, you try to make it so they can become the best version of themselves, and that does show an experienced coaching staff.
I've told you on the beginning of the split that we have to put a little bit more faith into Back to the Game, and in the end, I was right, happily for me. And I would love to highlight some of the matchups of today, some of the players, because as Kasper has mentioned before, a lot of rookies. 7 out of 10 players coming from the second division, summer split of the last year. Also the coaching staff for Forsaken, Valuta and Mystic Eyes, pretty much the same story when it comes to Back to the Game. Crystaller advancing with Back to the Game through the promotion tournament and hiring a really, really experienced coaching staff. For example, Vov, that's been the part of Illuminar Honor Gaming for like, what, 2 years now? So that's a lot to bring to the table. But starting from the top lane, we have two, in my opinion, really amazing top laners being able to both place weak side and strong side, mostly coming to the second part, mostly playing like Fioras, Yones, etc. These are the two players that have been tryouting to Back to the Game, and both of them were into the final of those tryouts. Definitely, Cozy had something more to bring to the table, so Back to the Game went with it. But Ariana, I do believe he mentioned in the video or interview that this is a personal matchup for him, and he needs to prove something, as he did in the previous best of one, going like 8-1 with Gnar, not letting Fiora rule on the side lane. I am really excited to see both of those top laners capable of going 1v9. What are your thoughts?
Let me start, because I think we have a lot of really great top laners in Ultraliga, especially at the current moment, and I think Cozy definitely is one of the best ones. I would say Ariana is that close to becoming one of those top laners we have right now, but I think it's a little bit of the lack of experience that kind of brings him down a little bit. However, I think he balances out quite well with the fact that he's bringing a lot of his mid lane experience to the top lane. I love his picks on the top lane whenever he brings in like Akali or something else, whatever it is, from the mid lane to the top lane and executes it quite well there. I want to see more of that in general. I think I want to see both Cozy and Ariana on something that is not going to be a weak side, because while they, as you mentioned, play weak side quite well, I think they especially shine when they're given the strong side.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes down to playing the strong side, I would favor in this specific matchup Forsaken all over the board. And the reason is I feel like they are way more used to playing the drafts that have to go forward and have to have some advantages in the mid game. They've been playing like Nautilus, Varus for the most of the season, and they've been playing good with it. Plus, we need to remember they have a guy that is called Charisma, and we know that this guy can make really good engages. I feel like overall, looking at how they play, I trust their squad. I feel like they are very good. What they are lacking is this experience, is this playoff experience. So if they win this game, like this series overall, I feel like we could have a very interesting series tomorrow. But overall, the reason I picked Back to the Game is very simple. It's just that overall, looking at these players, I feel like they have way more win cons, and the overall squad has way more win cons than the enemy team. Especially looking at the guy like Cozy. He's been in the playoffs for 2 times already. He didn't win a lot of things in the playoffs, in Ultraliga playoffs, but we know that he can play like Camille, Fiora. He can play weak side as well. So in terms of playoff experience, I trust him and I know what he's gonna do. And Ariana, on the other hand, I'm conflicted because I know how this guy plays. I know how well he can play. He himself thinks he's top 3 in the league. We will see if he is, because so far he's proved me wrong a lot of times, but it's gonna take more than proving me wrong to win today.
I mean, I'm kind of torn here because when it comes to back to the game, I think the big thing that their priority on champions like Fiora, like Camille, like all of this will bring them is that late game is an absolute nightmare on the map if you're an inexperienced team. It's so difficult to play really well into these kind of heavy split push, heavy pressure top laners, which is why that blood feud on the top side is going to matter a lot here. If Forsaken can back up Ariana top side to try to shut down that Fiora, that's going to be the best case scenario, but you have to keep doing it, and you have to keep doing it over and over. And I question if they can do that later on if they don't land into a Senna again, which has been their bread and butter in the second half of the split, if they ever want to do anything around top side. So I think a little bit of denial in draft could almost immediately win the game, fall back to the game, or win the series, fall back to the game.
Also, the factor that's been granting back to the game a lot of wins, in my opinion, is the mid lane. I mean, Sisyph been like unkillable in some of those matches, playing almost perfectly in champions like Hui, Azir, Korotkiy, Orianna. Basically, most of the time, control mages, but controlling the spaces, controlling the team fight so well. I could say pretty much the same about Ravbin, but in my opinion, it's a little bit easier for Sisyph to play against him because we can expect a lot of Oriannas, a lot of Korotkiys. Azir is disabled, of course. That's a big hit for both of those players. But I've seen Sisyph in the second division playing Yone, playing LeBlanc, playing a lot of champions that can apply the pressure. And in the playoffs of the second division, actually Sisyph was way, way better. It's been like a couple of months, so maybe my opinion is wrong. Maybe they have developed a lot more than I'm expecting. But I would go with Sisyph on this matchup.
Okay.
I find it really interesting to single out mid lane in this matchup because both teams seem to have a honor-bound system that mid lane is a strictly 1v1 lane, and they don't necessarily go out of their way to include them in these massive group plays. Those plays are reserved exclusively for side, and typically when they interact, pretty much exclusively top lane. So I do think the one-on-one matchup will matter a lot, and they do have a lot of leeway there, but also by not including them in initial groupings around midsection, you do get a lack of the champions you're talking about, the LeBlanc, the Yone, etc. The teams aren't best placed to use those, which typically require heavy skirmishing around midsection, which neither team really does. So you're going to get this honor-bound 1v1 in mid lane. Their individual skills will matter, but you could also just look to see the teams go for stability on those sides while they try to settle their blood feud on top lane.
Yeah, I feel like today is going to be especially the most interesting when we think about the drafts, right? Because I feel like both of these teams, they can draft very differently. Like Forsaken are, I would say, a casual team that won't go for something super crazy, but back to the game, they can pretty much play everything they want. They can play Hui on mid lane, Syndra, Azir, Korotkiy. I mean, Azir is not being playable right now, but we know what I mean. Top lane, same thing. Jungle, the same thing. All of them are going kind of crazy, especially when you have the guy like a Corder. You can basically play all the champs that you want. Like he can pick literally Braum and Pyke in the same series with the similar result. Hopefully not losing. So yeah, I feel like back to the game, definitely they can be dangerous when it comes down to the drafting department. But we know that Forsaken, Coach Valuta is big draft enthusiast as well, so he's looking at this and in that department as well. So I feel like, and clearly only in terms of drafting, it's gonna be super interesting to see how both of these teams do.
Yeah, to me, the biggest question about draft is going to be, is Senna going to be allowed? Especially for Whitman, because he has found so much success and comfort on this character, securing his first pentakill in the first division on this champion quite recently, actually. So I feel like it has to be a ban, right?
Probably should be, because Salami also could play it. Maybe not as well as Whitman does, but still that's the case. But when it comes to drafting, we've been mentioning the top lane, jungle, and mid lane. But the really interesting thing is that Accorder in 14 best of ones picked like 12 different champions. and he's probably capable of like doubling it, the number, if he was given a chance. I mean, that's the guy who is able to play Kashante or Singed or Jarvan or actually anything that you would wish him to play. Alongside with Salami, they've been playing this crazy combination of Senna Cho'Gath into Zeri in the playoffs of second division. In my opinion, there is no limit for their bot lane. While Wittmann is mostly focusing on champions that he can scale into teamfight and just be this really strong hyper carry.
I think that's actually a really good way to define both these bot laners, because you have one that's really focused on utility. Every champion you named just now is very underrated. Cho'Gath makes perfect sense into a champion like Zeri. Singed in the current meta does actually make perfect sense if you have a bot lane that lets it work, and a team that trusts you to pull it off. They bring so much utility to that team, but it is utility that is inevitably focused on making top lane work, whereas on the opposite side, you have much more from Forsaken standard play. Right, you're looking at these hyper carry bot lanes. They have oftentimes just traded bot. I remember like a 2v1 against Seraphine, I think, the last time that they were playing against each other, because the cross map was still happening topside. And they will try to then carry with that Jinx. So you do have these very clashing styles. Obviously, when you start talking about stuff like Singed, it's like, I want to see all of that craziness on the bot lane, right? Because I think that does have a legit chance at shutting down multiple compositions that are viable right now. These are the kinds of picks people should be going for. Already, we've seen Senegalio, and that's good enough so far. But now you want to break out the big guns, because it's a do or die situation, and you want to do it on your own terms.
Yeah, I feel like that for me, the most important part of today's series is gonna be the smolder pick, like to me at least, because we haven't seen these teams play it. Like I haven't seen any one of them, and I'm not sure if Wittmann is gonna be as useful as he was on other picks, because it's a new pick to him. We know that he values comfort over strength of the champion in a lot of times. So I feel like going smolder for him might not be the best case scenario, and he would just like, okay, I'm just gonna go Senna because it works. And we know that Senna is not the worst pick versus smolder. We know that it's playable. It's a matchup that a lot of teams can just accept. But I feel like in this scenario, if Salami trained smolder a lot, and I bet he did, then we are about to see the back to the game advantage. Like I feel like this could be the most advantage that they have.
And we probably will see a lot of those champions either in ban phase or in peak phase, because the draft for the first map has already started. So I'm sending you right back here. Thank you very much, Veteran, for joining the pre-show. I'm hoping that you will be here for the in-between map segment. But right now, let's quickly jump into the draft.
Let's go! Back to the game. Blue side, Forsaken, red side for the first game of today. And we are starting with Varus, not even Senna, but Varus still making sense as the ban right here. Kasper, your prediction, Smolder or Senna? Who's going to be banned first?
I mean, it's a tough prediction, especially seeing how both of these teams would love probably to pick one or another. But I feel like the first ban that we are going to have is going to be Smolder. I feel like Senna could be open, and you need to go for a Smolder ban, especially when you are in the situation that Salami could just first pick it. If it's open, he's just gonna most likely first pick it. So if I'm Forsaken, I'm just banning Smolder. If back to the game ban Smolder from blue side, then they show way too much. That would be unacceptable on the current patch, because you just lose way too much.
Yeah, and if Forsaken are banning out Smolder and back to the game are not picking Senna as the first pick, then the Senna, I assume, is going to go into the hands of Forsaken. But back to the game did exactly what you didn't want them to do, Kasper. They are on the blue side, and they are the ones to ban out Smolder.
Yeah. It's, to me, that's the problem. Because that means that they are already showing, okay, guys, we are not playing Smolder at all. And that's already a huge advantage. We are at the start of best of 5. We haven't even started yet, and they already showed so much. It just, I don't like it.
They have to take Senna now, no? Because, yeah, okay, they will probably take her, because Forsaken went with Hui, Twisted Fate, and Vi bans. All of them are really good bans overall, honestly, but back to the game have to take away Senna from Whitman to Salami. Salami can operate her quite nicely, and then Forsaken are the ones to lock in Orianna for Roughbin. I feel like at the same time, the fact that we don't have Azir available right now, allowed right now, is hurting and helping Forsaken quite a lot, because Roughbin likes playing Azir. He has a lot of games on him throughout this split, but at the same time, he's a very big hit or miss on this champion. I feel like Orianna is a safer bet for Forsaken.
Yeah, and Orianna Plaswell is already a nice wombo combo that
Yeah.
you're gonna want to have in the team fight, right? And especially that we know how Ravbin already played this Orianna. He already did like a 4-man shockwave. Tamkench feels like the best pick currently for Accorder. We know that he likes to go for it. First pick of the item redemption, usually. That's what I like, but I don't like the first rotation Senna, Karma, and Tamkench. So even if it's a Mumu, even though it would be weird, actually Jarvan is smart, because that could be Jarvan on bottom. That could
I think
be
it could be
Jarvan
Jarvan
on
on
bottom.
bottom. I mean, I could imagine Accorder playing this champion. It is enough craziness for him to go for that. But do you think it's going to be J4 for the bot lane and not for Shask?
I feel like yes, because now they are kind of forcing Forsaken to ban out Tamkench, if Forsaken are anticipating what is happening, obviously. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense, but
Okay.
I'm not quite sure what's gonna happen, honestly.
Do you? I have a question, because one thing that worries me right now for Back to the Games draft is whether they are going to have enough damage. I feel like they need to throw something that is a heavy damage dealer on top of what they have already, because Karma, she's gonna hate in the early game, of course, but then she's going to go more into utilitarian option for the team. Senna needs quite some time to get accelerated into the game and start dealing decent damage. Do you think it could be an issue for them in this draft?
Yeah, I feel like right now the biggest issue that I'm gonna have with the draft of both of the sides pretty much is that I don't see a clear win con for them. Yeah, you can say, yeah, Zeri is, but Zeri into Senna and Jarvan could end up pretty quickly a disaster.
Yeah.
If you die once, you're not gonna be in the spot where you can do a lot. And yesterday, we saw that Harpoon, he played very well with Zeri, but we can see, I can even feel through the screen the difference of Zeri. Like a year ago, she was the strongest champ.
Yeah.
Everyone was playing her. She was super strong, super buffed. Now she's just a champ. She's just okay. She's not the most OP champ. Yeah, she's okay, but she's not gonna 1v9 or anything like that.
No. Those days are long gone for her, unfortunately. But some people still decide to go into her, like Roughbin right now. I like this Nautilus that is going to be paired up with Zeri this time. I think it should be a safe enough bot lane right now, especially that they are actually the ones who banned out Tamkench. Back to the game are coming with Maokai, so that makes things even more complicated. Is that Maokai support? Is that still J4 support and Maokai goes into the jungle? I am not sure, but this Zac could be a legit pick for Cozy.
Yeah, could
Or
be. We know that he likes to play this sort of things, but it's gonna be Maokai and Renekton to finish the draft off. So now we have the confirmation. I mean, or we don't. It's either Maokai on the bottom or Jarvan.
we don't know anything.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
last pick for Forsaken, now the last pick for Orianna, that could be interesting. Let's see what he picks, because Cassante would be the normal one, but like the most casual pick. But then, where exactly do you have the damage? Yeah, you have Zeri, but she needs items. Orianna is not gonna win you the game automatically. I feel like, I don't like it. I usually have issues with Senna and Karma on the same draft. Here I have the issue with the other draft, because I feel like there is no damage in there.
Honestly speaking, it's not like I'm seeing any damage on either side of the map right now. Not consistent damage, not reliable damage, I would say, because it is so easy for Back to the Game to shut down that Zeri, because they have so much control, so many possibilities to lock her down, and even if she goes with a cleanse, it's going to be just one cleanse, and it's not going to be enough against everything that they can throw at her. And as you said, Orianna, yeah, she can do a lot in the team fights, but she's not going to be the game changer for the team. At the same time, for Back to the Game, they have a little bit more options to play around, I feel like, because you can always feed Renekton up on the top lane in the early game and then just snowball from there. You can try to wait until the scaling is going to hit for Senna. You have a lot of team fight potential with all the ultimates you're bringing in with J4 and with Maokai especially, but it's weird, Kasper. I don't know. I wouldn't bet on either of these drafts.
Yeah, I I have the similar feeling, but overall, the draft on the red, I feel like is. I would say it could work out, but you really need to play around it very well. And
Yeah.
as we know, it's not easy to do because, like, the long fights will favor you, but the question is how well can you actually play the long fights in this certain scenario? Like, you have Orianna, you have Pharrell, and not only that, but yeah, how well can you really play it? It feels like it feels like they're gonna have the issues with that, especially when I'm looking at the engage from the back to the game side. There's a lot of engage in that team comp as well. You have Jarvan, you have Maokai, so those two champs already give you a lot in terms of that. I mean, you can always engage from far away, just literally using EQ as Jarvan, and then Flag and Drag plus Cataclysm gives you a lot of freedom of movement, a lot of things that you can do as the player. So yeah, definitely the Forsaken players need to watch out for that.
And so much sustain on the side of the back to the game too, right? With Senna and Kama, it is healing and shielding for ages, especially later in the game when they're both built up with their items. It's going to be hard for Forsaken to cut through them. They have some burst on their side, and that's something that could help them cut through Senna and Kama, but the front line is still going to be an issue for them. Again, no, the more I'm thinking about it, Kasper, the less certain I am in either of these drafts.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same for me, but map one is very important in this series because it, like I said, both of these teams are inexperienced. So if Forsaken loses the first one so quickly, I would say they could be in for a lot of trouble because 1-0 can go quickly to 3-0, and yeah, that could be a disaster. But if they actually win the first series, that if they win the first map, then we are in for an interesting series.
Oh yes, let's go. Let's see. This is a big fight, everybody watching at home right now. You gotta understand that unlike the series that we had yesterday, whoever loses the series today is going home. No chance of them to go into the finals. No chance for them for a rematch, for a replay, for a second chance. No, you lose, you're home. That's it. Pretty much 3 losses in your pockets, you're gone from the playoffs of League of Legends. But if you win, then tomorrow you are playing against Zero Tenacity, who are going to be a tough one to crack. But if you manage to do it somehow, then on 23rd of March, you are going to play on the grand finals at LAN event in Warsaw. A lot is at the stakes of these games, but it is not going to be easy for either of the teams to win. We talked a little bit in the pre-show about how many rookies there are on both sides, especially if you look at back to the game. This whole team is the definition of rookies. This is their first time in Division 1. This is the first time in Division 1 and in playoffs of Division 1 for quite many of these players, and they've already gone so far, and we're so proud of them.
Oh yes, absolutely. I mean, we expected a lot of teams to go through, but I'm very happy that we got these two teams because, like I said, I feel like they just deserve it. Maybe some of you fans could say that yeah, Devils One should be here. I get that argument. I get that a lot because they've been playing good League of Legends. But yeah, overall, we have Forsaken. We have Back to the Game. Back to the Game that started off the season going 0-3 and being behind drastically, I would say, and then finally they just woke up and decided to play some good League of Legends. So I respect that. I really like that. The fact that they came from such a bad start and they were able to recover themselves. And yeah, since then they've been playing really good.
If you're a fan of Back to the Game, better hope that it's not going to be the case right now in this series. Better hope that they are going to go off with a strong start and just try to snowball from the very first game. It's not going to be easy, again, because Forsaken are bringing in some really big guns. While I am still worried about the damage on both sides of the map, I do think the Forsaken have a lot of damage coming later in the game with the combination of Orianna plus Zeri. If they're not stopped by anybody, they are going to be a disaster for Back to the Game to deal with, because that much burst is not something you can easily heal up, even having Senna and Karma on your side.
I agree, and especially as you said, there are a lot of champs that can do a lot on the side of Forsaken, so they need to be careful. Ariana, those are the traits you don't want to go for, but we need to remember that's the difference between him and Cozy is the fact that he has Doran Shield and Cozy is having a Doran Blade, so he will always be able to get some more HP. He does have a potion, he does have a cookie, so he's not in the worst spot right now. He is really strong. He can fight, that's for sure. And I feel like this Cassante will definitely use this to his advantage. Forsaken, quick rotation towards the mid side, not putting any wards yet. But this rotation could actually bait Shasku to, for example, when he recalls, to try to use his, obviously, red ward to check if there's any possibilities of ward being left there.
Quite possibly. Right now he's having a nice meet up with Belly, or not nice, depending on how you look at it. Belly definitely, the moment he dismounts, he is exceptionally tanky, and it's hard to cut through him even in the early game. That's why he is asserting the dominance over this part of the map, over this Skull Crab, which is good news for Forsaken. We have a minute before the next Drake is going to spawn, and judging by the fact we don't know what Drake it is, I assume it's going to be a Chem Drake.
Yeah, I mean, Chemtech as the first Drake is always important, because that means he's not gonna be the soul. So yeah, I really like it in this way. And also opens up a lot of possibilities of the souls, like Ocean and Cloud and Hextech. We haven't seen Hextech soul in a while. I mean, maybe we've seen Hextech soul being able to pick up, but we haven't seen a lot of teams pick up the Hextech soul.
That's true, which is always surprising to me, because from the moment it was introduced, it is still my favorite soul in the game. But Korotkiy right now needs to be really careful.
He does have a flash, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I mean, I was like, yeah, he does have a flash. There's a possibility he can try to outplay it. But first blood for Orianna, that was quick and that was powerful.
And Shasku, no, he's not going to be spotted. He just recalls. Good news for Forsaken. Ariana, okay, no, not Ariana, Xante is not maybe the best receiver of the first blood money, but Ariana, we know how much he can do, how proactive and aggressive he is as a player. So I would say overall that's not a bad news, but what is even better news is the fact that the kill was taken from Renekton. Renekton wants to be dominating the lane. He wants to be the one getting the kills there. The fact that he's behind is not helping him.
I agree. I totally agree with you, Solari, but that's the issue that I also... Oh, Cozy. Oh, I thought for a second that Belt could be in this ward, because we haven't seen it because of obviously the fog that is there. Also, we need to remember that Forsaken, sometimes they like to give too many kills towards their top laner. Do you remember the Gnar situation where Ariana took like 6 kills?
Yes.
And then he was useless for the rest of the game. He was basically doing nothing. So yeah, sometimes they like to do it, but overall, Whitman, nice trading from him. Those are some really good trades, and Salami now is low on health. Yes, he can use Q, he can try to heal himself up, but still, Whitman is doing some good job of that. Charisma. You don't want to hit your Q, you just want to push the wave. Trust me on that, buddy. And Bellet going for the first Drake 6 minutes into the game. Even if Shasku spots that, I don't think they can do anything about that. Look at that, there's priority from the bottom lane. I mean, Maokai is coming, but yeah, it's way too late. It's gonna be the first Drake for Forsaken.
Maokai, even if Maokai comes, even if Salami and Zizov come as well, Maokai is only level 5 and he just hit level 5 when we're looking at him. That is not the Maokai that is going to change the tide during this fight. That is not the Maokai that is going to control the battlefield and allow for enough time for everybody else to come up and deal the damage. For back to the game, the smart decision was indeed just to have a look, to understand that Drake is being taken, and step back immediately, return to the lanes, keep farming. No chance for them to fight for it.
Yeah, and Orianna right now defending the top lane tower, doing good job of that. The ultimate, I'm not sure if you're winning this, Orianna, but I guess he is. He's trying to go for it. Who is gonna win this one? No one, I guess, but that was close.
That was close for both of them, though. This is the level 6 Xante, and level 6 is such a huge power spike for him. This is the moment when he goes from being bullied to bullying the enemy, and that's why I assume Ariana wanted to go so aggressive into Kozi. And to be fair, he got the flash out of him, so that's something for something. But it was close for both of them. One wrong move there, with how much health they had by the end of the fight, any of them could have died.
Yeah, and Bellet is here covering Ariana to make sure that he's gonna be able to push the wave into Kozi. Ariana is gonna be having his ghost up soon, so there's always a possibility of trying to go for all in when Kozi is not in the best position. And then without the flash, yeah, this Renekton is gonna be having some issues. So yeah, looking very interesting. I'm curious how the bot lane situation is gonna be evolving, because so far this Nautilus I mean, not really in the spot where he can do much. I mean, yeah, you can try to go into Maokai, but Maokai will use his Q. So yeah, he can counter your engage pretty fast.
And it's always sad for Nautilus to find himself in a situation like that. He is very strong during the laning phase. Of course, later he is still very useful to the team, but his strength shines so much in the early game that he wants to be using it, especially if you're a Nautilus with an Ignite, the only true Nautilus there ever should be on the bot lane. You want to go in and you want to have this skill pressure on the enemy, but with Maokai, he don't have any.
Yeah, now... Ooh la 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 la. Yeah, Charisma is happy to just go to his base, but that's the issue right now. They are gonna lose a lot on bot lane. Look at that. Zeri and Nautilus are just right now coming in, and Salami will be able to take a plate, and that means even though they are killed down, back to the game, they got a lot of gold for themselves. Look at that. They are even with being killed behind, so that's a huge success.
I like their movements around the map. I like how they maintain vision, but again, vision is something I've been praising this team ever since they were 0-3 during the first weeks of Ultraliga. They always knew how important the vision was for them. And on top of that, everywhere on the map, except for the Void Grabs right now, they seem to be doing pretty fine. Yes, there is still a little bit of the difference between the teams, but if you look at the gold between the teams, it is that even. Nothing is happening there. It's going to be changed a bit now because Pellet is probably going to take all of those 3 Void Grabs, but the fact still stands. Wreck the game are doing fine.
Yeah, and the Corridor right now putting some vision in the enemy team, making sure that they're not going to be enjoying their life for the next few minutes. 90 seconds towards the next Ocean Drake, and the Ocean Drake would be a nice pickup for back to the game. Oh, Ravben, you're that.
Yeah, don't go there. Don't go there. Oh, he's gonna go there.
He couldn't have known. He couldn't have known. Like,
yeah,
you literally feel so safe, but that's what we call a vision difference. Literally, so much vision put in this forest of Forsaken. Not much Ravben could have done in this certain situation.
That's something we saw yesterday in the 2 games that Zero Tenacity managed to take away from Ubik Norman. Even in those when they were not winning, the vision control of Zero Tenacity on the map was exceptional. That was the best thing they were doing globally on the map throughout those 5 exhausting games. And back to the game, again, they are doing pretty much the same thing. Even if they're not necessarily going for strong priors anywhere on the map, at least their vision is going to be there.
Oh yeah, definitely. They need Zeri to be ahead. They need to give some plates to Zeri. I mean, they need to give something to her, especially if she's gonna be going for static. I don't like this build on Zeri. I never did, and I never will, I guess. I mean, it just feels like she's always so useless, and it just feels she's always like out of position and just out of combat and not doing much. And yeah, I mean, Bellet will come. He will help her and Charisma to push the wave, maybe put some vision around the Drake. But yeah, they are kind of forced to try to play around Zeri because obviously she is going to be the win con. The issue is she's only level 7. She's not going to be doing a lot. Meanwhile, Salami already did the ultimate that basically helped him to get the team the kill. So yeah, I feel like right now, Forsaken, they would love to go for this Drake. Salamis without the ultimate, they should have the advantage, but they can't even walk up.
No, since they lost the Prio on the river, there is no way of them to regain it. With Akoda having the ultimate, with Sisyph around already, having built the Malignance as the first item, no way for Forsaken just leave this Drake. It is very unfortunate because Ocean Drake helps massively back to the game with all the healing they already have in their kits. But, well, it is what it is for Forsaken right now. What is going to be the soul?
I mean, actually...
Oh, finally!
Yeah, we do have it. The question is who's going to take it, because the teams went for 1-for-1 in terms of the Drakes. Shockwave, yeah, but Bellet won't hit Shasky because of that. Now the ultimate, it will slow Shasky a little bit, but no kills for anyone. Sisyph, he does have a flash, so yeah, no kills for Forsaken. This rotation could cost them a little bit.
Seems like maybe a very slight miscommunication or misunderstanding.
What?
Yeah.
This ultimate was like, I don't get it, but yeah. Okay, maybe we'll talk about it in a second, because Ariana just took 2 tower shots in this fight. He needs to be careful. Oh, 1v1ing? Yeah, just a trade, I guess. Not much Whitman can do. Oh my god.
Oh!
Like, yeah, we can see the difference. Oh,
Cozy!
And Bellet, the same trick doesn't work twice, and now, yeah, that's what I said. Forsaken, if you lose the first one, you're gonna be losing a lot, and they are losing a lot in terms of everything pretty much. Top lane, mid lane, and bot lane.
So let's try to digest it, because a lot of things happened at the same time on two completely opposite sides of the map. So we had Cozy and Ariana 1v1ing on the top lane, but having already built the Eclipse, I feel like it gives Cozy so much confidence in himself. He is in his dominant form. He's already after popping in the ultimate. Ariana has already all out, so it means it's easier for Cozy to cut through him, and he uses it, and in the end, he's just a really good experienced top laner. He cuts through Ariana, then goes on to fight with Balit right here, with Shasku coming in to help a little bit. Shasku is the one getting the kill in the end, but Cozy was still there to take part in that. Then let's switch to the bot lane, where Whitman overstepped a lot already after getting hit by the root from Salami. He decided just to take 2 tower shots, just because, you know, silly, goofy or something, and then a quarter just doing the quarter things. We talked about the aggressiveness of this guy, and he does not hesitate to jump all the way under the throat with the very aggressive flash, just to make sure the kill on this area is going to be secured.
And I mean, that's a good information for Forsaken, the fact that a quarter got a kill, not Senna. Because if it was Senna, that would be even bigger of a disaster. Yeah, this game was close. Now it's not that much. And Forsaken, I feel like the reason, like, we can see, like I said, the inexperience that I was talking about. Balit could run away, because he did just jump on the horse. He could run away. He decided not to. He decided to try to stop Cozy, and that cost him his life. Whitman, same thing for him. He didn't have to go under the tower. He didn't have to fight. He knew that he's not gonna kill Salami in there. He just wanted to trade, and that cost him again, because the rotation from a corridor killed him. A lot of inexperience and a lot of mistakes that are now costing them. This engage is questionable, but maybe they are gonna find a corridor. He's buying a lot of time. The ultimate from Salami will help as well. A lot of damage as well, and now they will be able to get a kill. Ravbin will get it, but they used a lot ultimate from Nautilus, Balit, and Ravbin at the same time.
And they rotated 4 people to the bot lane, including Ravbin. That is so much time for Caesar to do whatever he wants, but Salami is in danger.
Is he? Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I take that back. He's not.
Yeah, he's Senna, you know. When you just pop out your E, 90% of the time you were in danger, then you're just out of it. And that's a good thing to have on your team, Senna that is not dying that quickly, and now it should be the tower dead.
Yes.
And will be maybe one more hit into the tier 2. That would be a huge thing, and yeah, it's not gonna happen. 1 minute, pretty much, until the next Drake. Oh, Ravbin. Oh, that's a shame, but he needed to get away, so it's okay. I would say that would be a big of a disaster if he stayed and died.
Overall, a very good rotation there from back to the game. I like it quite a lot. Yes, they lost 1 on the bot lane. There was an unfortunate situation, but they used the fact that Forsaken rotated 4 people to the bot lane really well, because Sisyph didn't join. He didn't react whatsoever. He stayed on the mid lane. He pushed into the enemy turret, and Salami rotated him immediately after poor quarter was done for. And that allowed back to the game, with the fact that Shasky all this time was busy getting the Herald, to get this turret on the mid lane. And if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, an outed turret on the mid lane is much better than getting an enemy support down.
Yeah, and Forsaken right now. 1,000 gold behind. 1,500 gold behind, I should say. My mistake. And the Drake, that I feel like is going to be very important, because they would love to fight for it. Zeri is not in the worst spot ever. Ultimates are up for pretty much everyone. Apart from Senna, I see that hers is going bad. But yeah, it will be here pretty much. 5v5, I favor back to the game. They just have way more teamfight tools. And Sisyph is super strong right now. So these shields are going to help massively in every single teamfight. So yeah, unless it's a free 4-man shockwave, yeah, I give them the edge.
But let's see what Forsaken have to say about it, because they are the first ones at the Drake. But back to the game, see quite a lot around it.
Prisma? What happened to him? Why is he half-health?
He got poked. Maybe by the dragon. I was not looking at Charisma, but yes, this is not a good look for Nautilus.
Yeah, now you go back as Forsaken. Do you want to risk the game for Drake number 3? Because Charisma is low on health, or what do you do? Because it looks like Forsaken are back to the game. Yeah, back to the game, understand. Yeah, if you're low on health, we are just gonna fight. And if we are gonna fight, we are gonna kill you. The first kill goes the way of back to the game. It's gonna be the first one on the jungler. Then the second one probably should be on Charisma, as he was lower before. Shockwave won't do much, and well, yeah, Whitman, Ravbin, you are dead, man, walking cozy, annihilating every single one member of Forsaken, doing the work, and again, the decision making is, oh my god.
Yes, it's the priorities that Forsaken have really wrong, right? They got the Drake out of this fight, but having Drake versus having 4 of your team members alive, that is 2 things that you cannot even compare to each other. It's just the second Drake. You didn't have to fight for it. With Charisma being so low in health already, by the time the fight started, they should have just retreated because it is a very important front line that they don't have anymore. Their backlane lives only as long as their front line is able to absorb the damage. And if their front line, Halfwood, is dead, you turn around and you don't fight. It is on the other hand, a very good understanding of the situation from back to the game. The fact that they pulled the trigger in quite late, so they couldn't get the Drake in the end, but they got 4 kills out of it. That should set them so ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's the greatest trait of their life is back to the game. They're very happy with what happened because they understand, well, back to the game don't care about the Drakes. And Cozy, he's going for Eclipse Renekton. This Renekton is gonna be doing a lot. And now Ariana out of position. He doesn't have the ultimate up. So the question is he going to be able to run away? Shasky should have the ultimate soon enough, so they will be able to get the kill. The question is, what Forsaken will get in advance? Is there anything they are going to get in advance? Yes, they are going for a top lane tower, so that's some good information, but yes, still, it just feels like they are so behind.
It's 9-3, and it's 5k gold difference for back to the game. Very nice gold difference. And if you look at who has the kills, surprise, it's everybody who has the kills right now. I really love the itemization that's already happening for them. Of course, send on 2 items is just lovely to see in general. With the second item being an LDR, interesting choice, but I can see the justification again. She really needs to be able to cut through the front line of Forsaken, because when he falls down, you know that the fight is won for back to the game. And the 2 items on Shasky is the thing that I love the most right now about back to the game, because Thunder Sky, yes, it's strong. It has been strong. It is staying strong. Doesn't matter that much as the Frozen Heart, the secret winner of so many fights. The moment Shasky engages onto the enemies and he wants to be engaging quite deep into them, he's going to slow them down. And that is going to be so important, especially against Whitman, who is still the main guy on the side of Forsaken.
Yeah, it's just not looking good for Forsaken right now. It's a good fact that they were able to take a Drake, but look at Whitman's point. Like you said, he's on 1 item. That's about it. That's the most you're gonna get. And yeah, if I'm Forsaken, I mean, currently just trying to still manage to win this game, obviously, but it's not going in my way. I'm slowly starting to think about the second map. What can I do better? First of all, what I would start with is pick blue side. If back to the game are gonna ban Smolder, which they will, then you pick Senna for yourself. If they ban Smolder and Senna, then that leaves other OP picks for you open. So there's always a possibility to try to play around that. But yeah, Forsaken, not in the greatest spot, I would say, right now. Definitely not. 5k behind. It's still comebackable. They can still do it. But when I see the decision making like that on the Drake, I'm not quite sure about that.
When I see the items on Whitman, I'm not quite sure about that. With the static shift, you are not a player until you get your second item. You are not even anywhere close to being activated as Zeri until you get your Navori or whatever you want to go for as the second item. And Whitman is pretty far away from it, especially if you compare him to Salami. There should be quite a massive gold difference between these 2 AD carries, but you can see from their KDA where exactly it's coming from. And Whitman is the one who is dealing damage, because Roughpin is not able to deliver even with the 2 items already completed, and nobody else is having any damage whatsoever. Everybody else is just there to support the AD carry.
Yeah, now the AD carry. I mean, Whitman just hit 2 items. Those are not the strongest ones, but yeah, he's doing something. That's some good information, at least. But yeah, I mean, he would need 3. Yeah, on 3, I would say he's starting to really do a lot. And then I would say that I would give them a shot at winning this one. But for now, not at all. Ravbin, 2 items for him. We saw that Shockwaves are not doing much. He's still not at the point where he's about to do damage. And to be fair, he's not going to be doing much till the rest of the game. It doesn't matter if it's going to be 30, 50 minutes, because he's playing against Jarvan, Renekton, and Maokai. Pretty much the most tanky members of the team that you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, and I don't like it for them. But I don't like for back to the game right now what is happening in their jungle. But hey, they found Charisma. Maybe that's good.
Yeah, it's a free support kill, but Charisma was... I'm not quite sure what he was doing there. I mean, I get it that he's trying to be in the jungle, he's trying to do something, but this position was just...
He was just a little bit too late with the rotation because the whole team was there, and then he just blinked. He overstayed for a split second, and everybody has already retreated, and he was left alone. And well, it was a mistake, so he had to pay the price for it. And back to the game right now, are using that very nicely again to their advantage, getting the Drake, knowing that with the late recalls from Forsaken and with that support, it's so hard for them to even think about going towards the Drake and contesting it.
Yeah, no Drake for them, but I would love for Forsaken to at least go for the Vision around the Baron. That would pretty much help them massively, I would even say, because then you at least know that, yeah, okay, they are not going to be walking towards the Drake. You want to give Zeri this additional few items. It's not going to be easy, obviously, as we see right now that she's not in the best spot, but... Ballot, okay, walks up. Still safe, and yeah, Forsaken are just gonna put some vision around the river, make sure that no one dies on their team, and then possibly just go for something, go for the play, I guess. But it's hard to set up the play. I mean, we said that they have a wombo combo on the team, but to even count that in, you need to be at least a little bit ahead, and by the looks of it, you are not ahead, you are not even remotely close to being even, you're just 5k behind, and it's just gonna be so hard for them to come back into this game.
They're getting closer to being 6k behind, around-ish. Don't do the math, don't come for me, please. They have put in some very deep vision in the upper part of the jungle of Back to the Game. That's something I quite like. They knew that there was no immediate threat onto the Baron, which allowed them to look for something else on the map. But so far, the only thing they found is something on the bot lane, judging by the mini-map, Cozy's fighting.
Yeah, and the fight, Cozy should be able to at least survive for a little while longer, and Ariana, now he's really regretting it, and he's regretting it a lot. He's still survive. Syzyf now looking for a kill on Ariana, but he won't be able to do it. He will be able to do it on Charisma, and now he's buying time. He's playing around it. Is he gonna be able to survive? He will! He will survive! Oh my god, Syzyf! Such an outlay, and now Forsaken are gonna pay the price because this ultimate from Whitman is not gonna help them. He's knocked up. He's out of position. The TP gonna help them to do something around that, but this is 3-4-1 in the situation that looked that's not even possible, but they managed to make it work.
Forsaken managed to make it worse, obviously, because, okay, I can understand the desire to fight in the beginning right here, because there is Charisma coming up for Ariana. He is on 2 items finally. The moment this teleport starts to come in, that is where it should become worrisome for Forsaken, because they're not able to fight really well unless they're bringing the numbers advantage. I like that they're bringing some additional power, and I love that Ariana survives here somehow miraculously, but Syzyf just does the absolute impossible, surviving with, oh, look at the shield on that Karma. What do you even do about that? You do nothing. You just accept your death at this point.
Unbelievable that they were able to just play it so well, and yeah, they definitely played it very, very good, and I respect that from Back to the Game. They know what their strong side are, and they just play towards them. 7k gold different, basically, for Back to the Game. And yeah, Back to the Game now on the highway to winning the first map, and like I said, if they win the first map, for me, it could be a quick 3-0. I went for 3-1, but the reason I went for 3-1 was, yeah, Forsaken are gonna win the first map, then Back to the Game are gonna wake up, and they are gonna win the rest of the 3. Well, I'm not quite sure seeing what is happening on map 1. Yes, it's only map 1, but still, it shows you that both of these teams are quite operate on another level. And there is a level difference, quite literally on Summoner's Rift, and not only on Summoner's Rift, but outside of Summoner's Rift as well. I know that Forsaken have been bootcamping for the past, like, few days. It's a short bootcamp just to make sure that they are in a good form, but what is the game plan for them now? They need to give the next Drake, which is in a minute, and they then need to fight for another Drake, which is in 6 minutes, and they need to make sure that Back to the Game won't do the Nash in meanwhile.
That is a nice chance for them. Oh, Ariana doesn't have the TP. Oh, that is looking good for back to the game. Do they just want to bait them in, or do they seriously want to get the Baron? I feel like it's maybe even the second. Rapin has an ultimate, so that's something to be really careful about. Belly the same, so they could try to go for a very nice steal here. That would help them so much if Forsaken can do it, but can they? I don't think they can.
Yeah, but they decided not to go for it. They decided not to risk a 50-50, and I like it. That shows maturity for back to the game. They understand, like, why in the world would we go for a 50-50 when we can go for the Drake, wait 5 more minutes, get the most OP soul that you possibly have on Summoner's Rift, that you have in the game currently, get the soul, and the game is basically won. I like it.
Yeah.
It's the mature call that we need from more teams in Ultraliga.
I understand it. I guess I just really wanted a bloodbath. Right now, what Forsaken are going to do, if they're doing what I think they're doing, that is a really bad call, because they're moving towards the Nash. I hope they're not going to start it, because they've already lost the Drake. Okay, good. I was really worried just looking at the minimap, but it's fine. They didn't make the death call, but back to the game.
Wow, Ariana is supposed to be the tank. He's on 3 items, but yeah, not that much tanky anymore.
Yeah.
And yeah, just putting the vision down on Nash, I like that. Just making sure that back to the game won't do Nash. And well, Whitman is on 3 items. Unfortunately for him, those 3 items are not the damage items at all. I mean, Static is not like the best item currently in the game. Black Cleaver is not the damage item, it's more of a bruiser item. Yeah, I mean, he's making a Maokai, Jarvan, and Renekton. So it's a good item overall. But
it's not what they needed. Like, it is a good item against back to the game. It is a bad item for the situation of Forsaken, because I like that Rabadon is finally there for Rafbin, so we are talking about some damage, but Whitman is sacrificing so much trying to survive for longer in those fights.
Yeah, and he needs 1 more item, with that being said. So is he gonna get it in 4 minutes? The answer is no. So yeah, they are gonna be fighting with Whitman being not in the best spot in the next. Oh, nice engage! Ooh. The flash for flash, I like it. That's a good trade. Even this flash for flash, that's a good trade for them, because that means maybe in the next team fight they are gonna be able to catch this Senna off guard, and if they do, that would be a big win. That could even result in the winning the team fight. But yeah, we know that they are still behind 7,000 gold. That's not looking too good. But well, who knows? We've seen bigger comebacks in League of Legends. I won't count them out just yet. I will still give them some hope, but yeah, so far...
Charisma.
Yeah, Charisma is just having fun. He's just, just jumping around.
Yeah.
Making sure he buys himself... Oh my god, this poke from Sisyph is so disgusting, by the way. Like, it was just 1 Q and he was able to do so much. 1 Q and Bellet is not happy.
Karma has been nerfed, by the way. That is Paris nerf Karma. You all are very welcome. I like this champion quite a lot. I mean, the beauty about Karma is that it doesn't make any sense to nerf her, because even if she doesn't deal as much damage as we see she pretty happily deals right now, she is still mostly there for the shielding, for the incapable shielding. Or rather, very capable, shielding for everybody in the team. I love it for back to the game. I love everything that is happening for them right now. They can wait 2.5 more minutes until the Drake is going to be up. They have so much control across the whole map that they can easily afford to just stall the game for a little while longer. However, stalling it also helps Forsaken, because they need the items in Ariana. Oh, you're so dead!
Yes, he is.
Brother.
Not much he can do versus Sisyph and Cozy, so... Yeah, they can just put the vision down around Nash, but they won't defend this tier 2 because it's kind of impossible. More gold towards back to the game. This gold difference is not 7k anymore. It's 8. It's even more than 8. So I don't see them doing a comeback in this game. Sorry, but I just don't. Like, it's 3 items for Whitman, 3 items for Ravin, sure, almost 4, but you need more than that. You need to get the Drake in around 1.5 minutes, but it just looks like every single time they even walk up to the objective, they just get obliterated, and yeah, not looking good.
No, not looking good. I think this whole game just is not looking good whatsoever for Forsaken anymore. They have the objective bounties, they're getting in the items. I don't feel like it's going to be enough, because back to the game are just getting so much control over the whole map, and if they get the soul in a minute from now, that is 100% going to be game over for Forsaken. Only a miracle is going to help them. Other than that, I think it's time to start thinking about game number 2.
Well, they would need resets for Zeri to win. They would need 3-man Shockwave from Orianna to win. They would need insane engage from Rel to win. That's pretty much all of the things you need. And if somehow you make it work, then sure. Then you are able to maybe create a miracle. But other than that, every single time there is gonna be a fight, you're just gonna lose because you're so far behind right now. This poke from Sisyph, disgusting as always, and who knows? Maybe we are just about to have the fight.
Quite possibly, but even without the fight, Back to the Game are winning because they are driving Forsaken away from the river. Look at that, there is only one entrance for Forsaken compared to many more before. Can they do anything? Because they're losing even this entrance light now. They're losing all of their position around the Drake.
I mean, that's not surprising since they are 9k behind, right? I mean,
Yeah.
it's gonna happen every single time. And Senna is gonna heal every single point of damage that was dealt to them. She is just dealing a lot. Ariana trying to walk around, trying to create something, but yeah, Bellet, he needs to go for engage. You can't wait like that. Now you need to go for engage, and they are just running down the soul because they understand if we get the soul, who cares? We are just gonna automatically win the fight. And now they go for the fight, but it's back to the game all day, all night, baby. One kill after another. Absolutely making fun of Forsaken. 4 kills, TP back into the mid lane, and we are about to see the end of game 1.
Oh yes, Ariana, you have the recall right now, but you're not even going to be allowed to do that. Your base is going down and your game number 1 is going down just like that. Really good decision making right there from Back to the Game. I really love how seriously they've approached their first playoff game in the first division of Ultraliga. That whole decision making around the Drake was excellent because they knew they needed to be in the advantage up the river. With Maokai, the thing is, you're in advantage whether or not you're the first one at the pit, but if you're at the first one, it is just so easier. You don't even need to think too much, and you just get the soul and you get the game, and this is game number 1, everybody. 18-4 is the final score. A very decisive victory from Back to the Game, and maybe a wake-up call for Forsaken.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, there's a Polish saying that says, you knew it's gonna happen, but you hoped it wouldn't. But yeah, I kind of feel this way right now. I mean, I knew it's gonna happen, but I hope that I wouldn't see it happen. But, well, unfortunately, it is what it is. It's not looking too good, and it's 1-0 for Back to the Game right now, pretty much instantly. And who knows how the rest are gonna look.
No idea. But if it continues like that, we're not here for a very long night, Kasper, because that would mean that Forsaken are going to lose and go home and wait until the next split of Ultraliga is going to start. Other than that, that was a very unfortunate game from them. I want to say just so many mistakes in general over the map, so many weird decisions, so many weird fights maybe they shouldn't have taken, or some strange rotations. Back to the Game looked so much more confident.
Yeah, just, I mean, they understood like how well they can play, and like I said, the call around the Nash to make sure that, yeah, you don't want to go for it, you don't want to go for the Nash instantly was very mature. And yeah, we'll have the opportunity to ask obviously the man himself, the man that was here previously. Veteran is here with us. And yeah, what do you think about map 1? Because I was excited for it, and maybe not as excited after I saw the amount of mistakes that happened.
So, quick point of praise over towards the side of Forsaken. Ariana being able to come back from, like, at some point it was about a 20 to 30 CS deficit against Renekton was actually insane. If I was to look back at that game, I want to see exactly the mechanics of how he did that in lane. That was really, really cool. For the rest of it, Back to the Game really wanted to make them suffer. I'm not entirely sure what their big vendetta is against them, but they prolonged the pain as long as humanly possible before deciding to extinguish them on that final Hex tech. But they could have done it a lot earlier. They made a conscious choice. And the part I want to focus on there is the mid to late game transition there. You do not need to have Karma slow push out topside for any amount of time whatsoever. You could easily play tempo, easily play for early barons. They could do what they want on the map. They decided to prolong the game, seemingly because they wanted to make that top lane differential as long as possible and just get as many additional kills and lower the KDA of enemy Cassante as they could. That was a masterclass in having control and knowing your opponent's limits as well on the side of Back to the Game. They made it painful for them, and they surely have an advantage in every way coming through into the rest of the series.
Can you please tell us, Vedran, what you thought about the draft? Because we were feeling very conflicted about both of them.
When I see Karma Senna, I pretty much assume the game is over. When I see Karma Senna with bruisers, I assume the game is 100% over. That's one of the most broken combos you could possibly have on 14-4. Mad Lions over in the LEC made it rather famous. It is a really strong kite back composition that takes advantage of this shield heal, like a feedback loop that occurs constantly with Senna Karma that also both feed into each other's own peeling, and makes every bruiser around them basically invincible. So when push comes to shove and a grouping eventually occurs, which again, Back to the Game forewent that for as long as they could, it's very difficult to break that lineup. So I think it was a very good draft from Back to the Game, but that is one of the most broken combos you could have, unless Smolder is in. Smolder is the thing that does do well into this particular combo.
I mean, it looked really good for Back to the Game, and I must say they played really patiently. What would you say is the game plan right now for Forsaken to try to go into game 2 and win it?
Spam Orbit Anonymo VODs, because if you try to do that freeze on top side against Orbit Anonymo, they would be like, thank you, we will take that shift into bot that we could easily get. We will take that map tempo. There were avenues for them to get back into the game once Baron was spawning. That kind of slow play Back to the Game we're opting into is open to abuse. Unfortunately, when Forsaken did go for it, Charisma pulled a little bit of a cringer and got caught out on that bot side tower, if you remember, and then the map was firmly in Back to the Game's favor again, and they never let it go after that point. They played much more standard play from that point onwards. There was a window there for Forsaken to get back to the game. I think they just need to focus on that specific area, and that is something that you can do from one game to the other. And like yesterday says, I don't think they need to modify everything that they do. They just need to be wary of when those situations occur. And if you are going to let Senna Karma through, make sure you have some big counters in draft for it.
I don't think they have enough time to watch enough of the VODs from Orbit Anonymo, I think. But without that, how do you vary their chances of making this not a 3-0 series?
I mean, denial, right? I mean, these guys have gotten Senna drafts too many times in a row. They are really good at it. They can be more creative than this. I was thinking, is this the singed angle? But I will almost always say that. I think that needs to be denied from the off. Do not give them the Senna whatsoever. Maybe have some kind of a plan for the Karma, but just remove that combo. I think whatever draft plan they have needs to start there.
So we will see if there's anything else for them to do other than watch Orbit Anonymo demos, because like we said, it's probably not going to help with short amount of time. But we are going to see that only after a short amount of break. And when we come back, maybe, just maybe, Forsaken will come back with a new fresh air, and maybe they will be able to draft something crazy and come back into the series. So far, it's not looking the best. So a few minutes, stay with us, and we are right back.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos? Yo de aquí. Ah, mira. ¿Tú de qué parte eres? Del norte.
Oh man, I feel like that was my best intro ever.
Yeah, not bad, hey, not bad. I can go, bro. You know it as well. I also know you can dance. You should join me next time. And yes, I feel like you've also deserved a bit of a break. You've earned it.
Thanks.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Good job.
Hey, thank you.
Wjedź do elektryzującego świata esportu i zagraj z nami. Moc energii zapewnia elektryczna Kia EV6.
Just giving in to the numbness, but I just sit and stare and cry. This can't happen to me. Never believed in the oneness. Now every sentence ends in why. And now she's really gone. The city lights are lonely. Indelible lines were drawn. Life will never be the same without her. I keep falling faster. I can't get past her. I keep falling faster. I can't believe she's gone. It's really cold tonight. I see my breath on the window. Give me a shot to numb the pain. How did this happen to me? Feel like I'm floating in limbo. Start spinning round and round again. I can't believe she's gone. The city lights are lonely. Indelible lines were drawn. Life will never be the same without her. I keep falling faster. I can't get past her. I keep falling faster. I can't believe she's gone. 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 What has just come over me? I'm gonna paint this town tonight. I was blind, but now I see. I'm gonna live life like a ride. Now I have no fear. It has disappeared. I'm getting out of here. I can see the light there in the dead of night, leaving it all behind, all behind. Walk through the fire, into the night. Walk through the fire. I gotta fight. I cannot just face defeat, and I will walk the line. I can feel the fire telling me, gotta bring myself back to life, back to life. Walk through the fire. I gotta fight. Now I have no fear. Walk through the fire. Walk through the fire. Into the night. Walk through the fire. I gotta fight. Walk through the fire. Into the night. Walk through the fire. Into the night.
Dark blue clouds are creeping in. I feel so lost. I hope that you can save me. Can you still save me? Thunder breaks, it shakes my skin. This plane is coming down, but you can save me. Only you can save me. Give me that just gotta have it. Down to the wind when it burns like this. Give me that madness.
Welcome back to Samsung Galaxy Ultraliga Playoffs, day number 2, where we have Forsaken playing against Back to the Game and unfortunately not finding much success so far, but it was only game number 1 that we witnessed. I'm Solari, I'm joined here today by Kasper and Veteran. Let me throw again a question right at you. What do Forsaken need to do right now, especially starting from the draft, to try to win the second game?
Deny Senna. If you're going to give Senna over, don't deny yourself TF and don't go double low mobility because the enemy does have the ability to go Jarvan. But they need to start denying these guys their big picks, right? Especially that Senna.
What if they go for first pick Senna then, and they steal
Yep.
Senna for them? Do you think
Yep.
that works as well?
I think that could be really good, just so long as you make sure that your opponents are not about to break out some huge counters. I do think the Smolder angle that you were talking about before the first game would be one of those big ones that you need to make sure you're denying. But denying Senna by picking it, I'm all down for that. Just bear in mind, there are counters to this champion. You do have Twisted Fate, you do have Twitch, you do have plenty of things that are viable. So make sure that you account for that when you go for first pick Senna, because surely Back to the Game have thought this far ahead.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, especially after Weapon has had some fantastic performances on Senna. They have to be ready that it most likely is
Yeah.
going to be the plan B for Forsaken if everything goes down, and everything has already went down, frankly speaking. But when it comes to the game itself, just looking at how they're moving around the map, about their decision making, do you think Forsaken can get a better game in game number 2?
Yeah, I mean, I think they just have to opt in for like a 3-1-1 lane assignment when they see their opponents going for this freeze angle, because that isn't an unknowable thing that Back to the Game do. You can plan ahead for it, and I think if you just slam a 3-man on there and then shift into mid into bot, you can be doing a really big tempo play around the map, and you just try to hold on to that, kind of like how Orbit Anonymo would.
Well, we will see if they are Orbit Anonymo. because that I mean they would need to really play good. Also, the one question that I have from my side: do you felt like, at least obviously looking at map 1 that we had so far, what exactly went wrong and when exactly when it go wrong for Forsaken, because it felt like the beginning of the game was actually good. Ariana got the kill, he was pretty much in a good spot, was able to get his Bramble Vest. There was a close possibility of going even 2-0 for himself, because he was very close to getting the kill on Renekton again.
Yep.
So my question is just, what do you think exactly went wrong for them?
There was a position where you had a aggressive 2v2 match on top side, and then when Back to the Game were doing that, Whitman opened up really, really hard 1v1 Salami and just barely wasn't able to get the kill on him, and then a response play was able to be done by a Corda on bot side at the same time. They then lost top and bot off of that, and then it's really easy. You just press back after fixing waves, and you are going to be ahead on every single play afterwards. That was the exact point. Normally what happens is Whitman actually does trade that kill on bot side, and then the games end up going much more in their favor, but he wasn't quite able to do it. I do think that's a little bit function of the draft. Solari made a really good point that with when you go to Shiv build, you're really reliant on second item to start going online. But then second item was Rune and Hurricane, and these guys basically didn't have any damage come from their bot side for a bit. So maybe just double down on the fact that you do like to play this standard comp, deny the center stuff in bans, and just give Whitman something that he can get that kill on Salami with, and instead of losing both sides of the map, you're now just trading sides in the early game, and that function that gave Back to the Game their lead in early won't happen again.
I like that you mentioned the build on Whitman on that Zeri, because that's something we didn't like about Forsaken in that game. Can you tell us, are you the defender of static shift Zeri or not?
No. I'm actually kind of against static shift builds on AD in general. I do think that they lead to quite low damage. Both ADs this game, by the way, had really interesting, not so standard builds.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I could understand why Salami would go Bork into LDR against multiple bruiser tanks that he's likely to be having to spam auto on for most of the game. So these guys both win weird builds on the ADs that I don't necessarily fully agree with, but for Salami, it's fully understandable. Whereas on the other side with Whitman, I think Whitman is your guy to try to get these advantages in the early phase, and so you can't give him this kind of super scale.
And we will see if they will do that. We will see if they will give him advantages. From what I know, we already have the draft, so we will go straight into it. Thank you, veteran, and we will hear you straight after the game. And
all right,
here we go.
Yes, Back to the Game are on the right side, so as you pretty much predicted, Kasper. Let's see if Forsaken can take some good use out of it. Let's see what they're going to ban. Is it going to be some small bans happening in the draft together? Maybe I'm going to be lucky today. Hui so far is the first ban coming in from Forsaken. Senna, of course, is going to be the first ban from Back to the Game. I quite like it from their side.
Yeah, and Senna banned already by Back to the Game, so they don't want to let them pick the Senna.
Yeah.
With Senna being banned so early, that actually shows me that they are most likely going to go for Senna Smolder combination, which makes it a little bit complicated for Forsaken, because then you're kind of forced to play something else, something that you maybe won't like. Wow, Senna Varus, which means if Forsaken won't ban Smolder, they will ban that three AD carries in the first rotation, most likely. Because if you ban Varus and Senna, I guess you're just banning Smolder as the third one, right? Or you're going for something else and you feel comfortable around Smolder. That's also the possibility.
Yep. And Forsaken decided to ban Vi and Twisted Fate yet again. It is rather intriguing to me because Ariana plays a really good Twisted Fate on the top lane, but for the second game in a row, it is Forsaken who are the ones who ban him out. And yes, Back to the Game are going to go with Small, the last ban. That is really limiting the options for Forsaken. But Volibear has not been banned out. I like it for Ariana.
Yeah, we saw it yesterday. I like Volibear as well. It's a good champ when he's ahead. And it works pretty good. I feel like you don't even need enchanters around you as Volibear. You just have so much possibilities of trying to dive, trying to play around the dive sort of comps. And yeah, I like this sort of first pick. I'm curious to see what Whitman is gonna pick, because Senna banned, Varus banned, a lot of champs that could work out for him are banned. So yeah, for me it looks it looks kind of rough for him.
A little bit. I'm not sure what Rapin is going to be playing. With Orianna picked for Sisyph. Good pick for Sisyph. Not good news for Forsaken, of course. Maybe it's going to be Karma for them, just as a little exchange with Back to the Game, but Karma just on her own. Without Senna is weird. Yes, Kaiser for Salami. That somebody had time to slam some Orbit Anonymo votes apparently, and it wasn't Forsaken.
Yeah, it's back to the game. So now we know.
Yeah.
It's time to predict the rest of the draft. It's gonna be Zeri for Forsaken again, and back to the game are gonna answer with Rel. That's my prediction. It's gonna be Zeri for Forsaken because they feel like, okay, Zeri is a good matchup into Kai'Sa, and they are gonna be happy with it. What they can pick is Nautilus, for example, to her. It's also a very good pick. We know that Charisma likes to play Nautilus. He feels comfortable on him. And there's also a possibility of stealing Rel for yourself, but then it's not flex. So most likely they are gonna go for something else. It's gonna be Karma, and most likely it's not gonna be Karma support. So what I'm expecting to see on pick number 3 is Rel for Accorder or Rel for Shasku. Both are possible.
Interesting enough, Zeri actually loves having an enchant on her side. When she just got released, remember the Zeri Yumi situation was dominating the bot lane, or Zeri Lulu, or any sort of enchanter by her side. And that is still very powerful because she's very squishy and she needs as much protection as possible. But I agree with you, I don't think this is Karma for Charisma, I think this is Karma for Ralphin.
I'm just surprised that they straight up went for Jarvan like that. That's, I would say, a ballsy play. Definitely ballsy, and definitely could work out for them.
Yeah.
I'm just not quite sure if I'm a big fan of that, because yes, Jarvan Orianna is one of the strongest combos that you can currently have on Summoner's Rift, but still, it just feels like you're giving away too much.
I mean, it was their pick for the previous game, and I can see why it's going to work again right now, because it is a very nice lockdown against Zeri. And with paired up with Orianna, it is even stronger than what they had in the previous game. So I don't have as many bad feelings about it as you do, for sure. But let's see what the bans are bringing us, because back to the game started with banning out Braum. The obvious answer was Forsaken removing Nautilus from this game, which means that Rel has to be banned as the next one from Forsaken side, most likely, because otherwise it's going to be Kai'Sa Rel on the bot lane, and back to the game have so much control for the team fights.
Yeah, they do. They absolutely do. And back to the game, they need to start thinking about AD sources for themselves, because yes, they have Jarvan, yes they have Kai'Sa, but Orianna deals AP. Kai'Sa deals AP as well. Even if you build her AD, she does deal a percentage of AP. If they go for more, like for example Leona, or that's why I would love to see Naut here, but it's not gonna be Naut because it's banned. So it's gonna be Maokai.
Okay.
Maokai is also good because it works well against Forsaken and against Volibear as well, right? Because when you have Volibear, you're not able to run into him because it's not gonna be that easy to just play around that. So I like it. I like it in a way. It shows that in a certain way, back to the game are drafting strictly to counter what Forsaken are doing.
Yeah. To be fair, Forsaken did the same in the previous game. Or at least they tried. Okay, though, they didn't do it in the previous game. They tried to do it in the previous game with their picks and with their builds, but it wasn't really working for them that well. No, you know what? I take it back. The builds were not working against back to the game whatsoever. It was just them trying to find something in the drafts. But this time they have Aatrox, so in the end this Volibear is going to jungle, to Bellied. I wanted it to go into Ariana's hands. Of course it's a flex, but I really wanted it to be the top lane pick. But in the end, yeah, it's going to be Aatrox for Ariana, with much more possibilities for him to find place for himself compared to Xande. I like it much more for Ariana. You can't just slam Xande for him and expect miracles to happen. Yes, Cozy Camille. Okay, forget my happiness for Forsaken speaks. Now we're talking back to the game, are bringing out all the big guns, because Cozy is back on his signature pick on the top lane.
I mean, he is just gonna run through them with this Camille. I mean, honestly, we know how good of a Camille he is, and in this sort of draft, where you have Camille, Jarvan, Orianna, into Aatrox, into Zeri. I mean, this Zeri is not gonna have a life. She's gonna be hating her life playing this game. Because how are you even supposed to do something? Honestly, like, so tough.
You're not supposed to do anything. You're supposed to die. That's pretty much what's going to be happening at this game. I love Back to the Games draft so much more. In the previous draft, I was a little bit questioning, but now no questions from my side. I much prefer the draft from the side of Back to the Game. Yes, there is some sustain, some control coming from Forsaken's side as well, But Back to the Game have everything and more, and most of anything, they have control and access to the enemy carry.
Yeah, and it just feels like right now, I mean, with this sort of draft, if it's gonna be straight up 2-0, that could be a problem. That could be a big problem, honestly.
That's something you said yesterday, and with Anonymo didn't really have a problem, but well, they were for real a little bit silly goofy in the games 3 and 4. Let's see if anybody's going to be silly goofy right now. Nothing unusual, nothing suspicious just yet. Some deep wards coming in from Back to the Game and from Forsaken. I quite like that they're trying to answer the amount of vision from the enemies, already seeing the approach to their jungle too.
Yeah, but that's the thing, right? I mean, if they go 2-0 just like that, I mean, how are Forsaken gonna react? Because I feel like this draft is much better for Back to the Game. Yet again, I'm gonna even say that. I'm tempted to do it, but okay. I won't do it with my hair, but I can do it with my beard. If they lose with this draft, I can shave my beard. And I really love my beard. I love my beard more than my hair. So that's the bet I'm willing to give. Because for me, they are not losing with this draft. Like, to me, if there is a definition of an out draft, this is it. Because Whitman is not allowed to play. Sisyph is just gonna wreck him every single time. Cozy, just using Hextech Ultimatum on him, he's just gonna be all around him, always on him, and it's just gonna be so tough to do. I feel like Back to the Game, it's like they picked themselves exactly what they wanted to have. Literally, like if you were to give them a bingo of the dream champs that you want to have, they got all of them.
So everybody watching, we have a deal right now. You heard the results. If Back to the Game lose this game with this draft, Kasper is going to shave his beard. And in a little bit more than a week from now, during the Grand LAN finals on 23rd of March in Warsaw, you're going to see him with a weird beard style. Or not,
No,
depending on
because
Back to the Game.
In 10 days, it's gonna be back, you know. My
Okay,
beard
fine.
grows back really fast. So
Can we do it so that you shave it right before the finals?
I mean, no, because I don't want to look in the finals like some goofy guy, you know.
Okay, fine, but it's not
Like
that
people
interesting.
say to me that without beard I look like I'm 20-year-old, and I'm 25 soon. So
Doesn't it work like that with all men? But I'm not an expert here.
I'm not sure, but I would prefer to look older than younger, at least for me.
Yeah, we're the opposite in that sense, I guess. But okay,
Yeah. Oh, he missed. He missed the count. It's as if, yeah. Already a win for Forsaken. Already, you see, before he hadn't missed a single cannon, and now when I bet my beard, he missed it instantly.
He missed some minions in the previous game. I saw some. I just didn't want to bring attention to it because otherwise he was playing nicely. But yeah, the cannon is a different deal. Okay, GG, game over. Go next. Forsaken win this one automatically. Or not. We're about to see about that, but I like that Bellet is around the mid lane right now. Not that he's gonna get much from Sisyph, but Charisma, okay, they want a flash. Or if he oversteps his life, but at least a flash.
Oh yes, they are here, but Sisyph should know that something is up. Charisma is there, they go for him. They are really desperate to have him. And wow. Bellet used his flash, and Sisyph haven't used anything. So yeah, that...
If he goes for a kill, he will not, but he could.
He won't. That's good for them, but still.
That was really bad. That was really ugly from Forsaken there in the mid lane. They got nothing. Maybe on the top lane it's going to be better because Cozy is very low on mana.
Yeah, I mean, that's the possibility of trying to do something on Cozy, but he does have Ignite, so I'm not sure he's gonna be... Oh, the last Q missed! The last Q missed! If he only used his W sooner and was able to get a little bit of HP back, that could have been perfect. But now, yes, they lose on top, but they get it on mid lane. It's Shasky with a kill, so it's all good for Back to the Game.
And I've already seen this scenario in the previous game. When Cozy is the first one to die, and he's the first one to die on the top lane, but it doesn't stop Back to the Game whatsoever, despite the fact that they give away the first blood, they get everything and more in the game later on. So here's the replay. Cozy is really low on mana. He's just casually walking away. Really nice ward right there from Belly to make sure they see what's happening. And Cozy, he's trying to get away on his Q, but it's not gonna work. Damn.
It's not gonna work, like you said, Solari, and... Now, I mean, if we were to compare on whose is it better to have a kill, is it Volley or is it Jarvan? that's the interesting conversation, because I feel like with the build that we are currently seeing, it's the Volley that is not going strictly for a tank build, right? The first build that he's going for, the first item that he's going for, is the AD item. So I feel like it's very important, in my opinion, for Shasky right now, because Shasky still has a flash up and Bellit doesn't. That's the difference between both of them. That Shasky, when he hits level 6, and we know that he will do it soon because he's level 5 already, and when he has Cataclysm, he's after the kill, he's dealing more damage than the champs from Forsaken would anticipate, and yes, that would give them a lot of freedom to work with.
I wonder where they're going to use this freedom, because right now the Drake is up. The first stack of the little ugly void box is also up on the top part of the map. There is some prio for Cozy. Despite him dying once, he is feeling really strong in terms of farm. Has a really nice wave stacked up right now, I'm assuming, trying to go for a recall or trying to help out with those very void grabs to Shask, and it's going to be the latter.
And Shasky right now getting the void grabs, only the one, and putting the vision, just playing with time, playing the smart game. Ariana slowly but surely making sure that he will get the most he can out of the top lane situation. To be honest, I haven't seen Ariana on Aatrox that much, so I'm interested to see how he's gonna play it. Like, oh, Robin. That's a shame. This minion trolled him a little bit.
Yeah. That was fully back to the game minion, but, well, it happens. I'm not going to tell you how many times it happened to me when I played Karma, but, well, I am obviously no professional player. However, Forsaken are getting something out of the unfortunate situation. They are getting the 2 void grabs in the end, so it's no 6 possibility for them, but at least they're denying quite a lot of those to back to the game too. However, with so much attention on the top part of the map, nobody is doing anything around the Drake, and I wonder if Forsaken can try to look for a new play around it. Oh, Cozy!
Free, but Cozy still has the ultimate up. He still has Ignite. I'm not sure if really Forsaken want to go for it, but they definitely want to, and they can do it. It's a kill, and it's a kill for Ariana. That's what I like about this play the most. Look at how much Cozy will be losing. Oh my god. It's not only losing on top lane, it's Camille that you are playing. You're gonna be 0-2. Huge wave you just lost. A disaster for Cozy.
Yes, he's an Ignite Camille. He's supposed to have all the kill threat on the lane ever possible and more. And he's in such a losing position already. I was saying a little bit earlier that yes, he was losing in terms of kills, but at least he was having more fun than Ariana. After this play, not the case anymore. I don't like how it's looking for the top lane. I mean, Cozy, he still has time. He's on the Shin already. When he gets his first item, it's going to be a different story. And then we're going to have to return to the question of whether or not Cozy is in a losing spot or not. But for now, that's where we'll keep it.
Exactly, and let's see what is gonna happen in the next few minutes, because now it got interesting. Now we have Aatrox getting a kill. Now there's the possibility of them snowballing this. They got the 2 void grabs. They also got the Drake. So maybe, just maybe, Forsaken back in the lead, back with this game. And you know, it would be weird for me to see Forsaken go out like this. You know, they fought so hard to get into the playoffs, and when you fought. No, did I just jinx them? Okay, maybe not.
No, you do. You were very close, but you didn't. It's okay.
Yeah, fortunately. That's not what happened. By the way, since we have a little bit of a break, because obviously not much is going to happen in the mid lane, since Volibear obviously is not going to go for that play, right? What is the meta that you miss the most, Solari? Like, if you had to pick the meta that you had in League of Legends, and that you miss the most out of all of them, which one would it be? Okay. You will answer in a second, because we are going for a Cozy play, interrupted with his E, and that's a disaster. Nice Hextech ultimatum. Will it save you? Not today, baby. It's Bellit with the second kill. It's Forsaken in the lead. And now, well, it's looking not that good for back to the game anymore.
It's the fact that they keep interrupting his E's. It's E's. Oh my god, I played Camille ages ago. But it's the fact that they keep interrupting her whenever she's trying to get away, because the whole strength of Camille is playing around the walls and playing around this possibility to reposition herself quickly. If you deny that to her, she's finding herself not being able to answer, especially to guys like that, when Bellit is constantly sitting on this top lane, not letting Cozy breathe there. And I quite like it. because Volibear is a very potent champion. He can do a lot throughout early to mid game in the team fights, and he's going to be hard to kill. He's going to deal some damage to control how the fights are going. At the same time, Ariana is getting additional gold, and I think I like it even more because Ariana is finally given a champion that he can do a lot on.
Oh, absolutely. He definitely can do a lot. Orianna. No ultimate. Shasku. He does have his, so yeah, that should be a kill. Not much he can do in this certain situation. Volibear is still alive, so that's not a shutdown that was given back to the game. But that's a kill that is very important because that's going to help them build back into the situation that they just gave away.
And it's going to be at least a turret plate for Cozy, so that's some additional gold. Yeah, it is going to
There's
be.
TP for Ariana, so that's at least something. He will be able to get something back, right, out of the situation. So it's not the end of the world just yet.
Yeah, but it's keeping the situation of the top lane a little bit more stabilized, but it's still far from perfect because Cozy is still 1-3. There is no item completed for him compared to Sunlit Sky already available to Ariana. A lot of healing 1v1 fights right now are going to be impossible for Camille. Not like they were before, to be fair, but now just fully impossible.
Forsaken. What I would like to see them do with the advantage that they have right now, they understand that Volibear is super strong right now. Just go for the Drakes and force 5v5 fights. Because 5v5, you're gonna win. Like, even if Zeri is not strong, 5v5, you're gonna win. If you're gonna get the first 2 Drakes with the 5 Void Grubs that you are able to get, every single time you're gonna be going for the trait later on, like the trait, let's say you give away a Drake and you get something in return, with this Void Grubs, it's just gonna be so easy to get it, right? Because you have Void Grubs, so the Void Grubs will do the work for you. You won't be able to... you won't need to stress about the fact that, oh, maybe we won't get it in time. No, you will get it in time because of the Void Grubs. So, yeah, I would love Forsaken to get the second Drake, and then just chill. Just wait for your Power Spike, wait for Zeri to get to the 2 to 3 items.
Oh no.
And Cozy, no Ignite, ultimate available. And this Ignite could buy him a lot of time. But Cozy understands. The moment he saw Bellet, he's like, you know what? Let's run away.
Yes, and this time he was not interrupted. I'm so happy for him. No tower dive this time, because yeah, with Volibear it would have been game over for the turret and most likely for Cozy as well. Back to the game, are rotating their forces in the top lane right now to help Cozy out. Maybe he can go for a kill.
I mean, it's 1v2, he's buying some time, he's healing a lot, but it's a 4v2! Oh my god, Bellet, oh my god, Ariana, you don't even know with how much trouble you are just in right now. It's a shutdown for Sisyph, for free. The rotation from Rabin and Charisma is here, but it's only Karma. What is Karma gonna do? She's gonna force the flash, but that's about it.
I feel like Forsaken could have tried to play it better, because that was good call from back to the game. Ooh, and the TP coming back from Cozy. They're not done yet, because Charisma turns around and nothing is going to happen on the top lane anymore. But what also didn't happen is anything on the bot part of the map, because Forsaken could have rotated to the bot side where the Drake is already alive and well, but they decided not to. They lost on the top lane. They made the score 3-3 between the teams, and now finally the Triforce is there for Cozy, the biggest power spike for Camille, and now the Drake is up, but there is no prior for Forsaken to play around it.
I mean, they will be able to get the mid lane tower, so... sorry, not mid lane tower, mid wave. So, yeah, Forsaken right now, just in the comfortable spot, getting the Drake for free.
Oh,
it's
so
the Hextech
quick.
Drake. It's not the Soul, but yes, it's gonna be theirs. They can try to go for the fight. Salami, a little bit out of the position, but Accorder engages, and with the Accorder engage, it looks like the first kill is gonna go in the wave of back to the game, but Bellet was able to flash backwards. Whitman in a very uncomfortable situation. It's a 1-for-1. It's Whitman for the jungler, so that's a very good situation for back to the game right now. That's exactly what they wanted to have. With the ultimate from Salami, they should be able to get one more, maybe. But the shield from Ravbin is gonna be enough.
That was so close! But yes, Kalma is a very funny champion. The shielding on her is insane. Salami went for almost a suicide mission. That was really risky, but he got out of it alive, so it's all nice and all well for him. 1-0-1 is like Kaiser right now compared to 1-0-0, sorry, 1-1 Zeri, who is again going for the static shift, and we already discussed it with Veteran. Nobody likes static shift on Zeri, and we have an agreement here on Ultraliga English.
Yeah, the agreement. Apparently, we have the agreement to win the early game and troll in the mid game, because I feel like this is exactly what is happening since yesterday. Like, literally, every single time it was happening, I was like, oh my god, it's gonna happen again. And it looks like it's gonna happen again here, because Forsaken were in the lead. Now they are not. And yeah, they are not enjoying their live ballot. Are you really gonna go for it? Are you really that crazy? I mean, it's a nice try, but yeah, Charisma caught off guard. Charisma is basically dead. He really is. And now Bellet, nice ultimate. You will be able to get a kill. But Ariana was forced to flash. Salami, no flash for him, and that's the kill. At least something. But the bad information is Ariana was not able to get a lot from the TP, which means that gives a free time for Camille to do something on the side.
And I like it for Camille, because Camille is very quick and efficient on the side plays. They have to get this turret on the mid lane to make sure that the exchange is going to be equal in the end. And they are not getting it. It's not even close. The TP is coming in from Sisif just to make sure that they secure it and that he gets all the farm for himself. But yeah, the exchange itself on the bot lane looked rather okay for Forsaken. They got in the kills. They got in quite a lot. And it's the whole move from Bellet, not this fight we're looking at right now, obviously, but the one that is going to happen later. The whole move from Bellet in the end did work out for them. But yes, it wasn't a fair fight, because all this time Camille wasn't the top lane, because he decided not to trade a TP for a TP. And because of that, back to the game have gained a lot more on the map.
Oh yes, and Ariana, good for him that he was able to at least get a corridor, but if he was able to get Salami as well, I would say, okay, now that's worth it for him. But yeah, only one kill for him, and he's pretty much not in the greatest spot that he would have loved to. The game is even in terms of gold, at least 2 minutes until the next Drake, and this Drake is gonna be important, because Whitman on 0 kills right now. Not the best spot for this Zeri, but this Zeri, seeing her build, she's gonna go for the same thing, and I don't like it. Again, I hate this build. Like, I like what Salami is doing. He's going for the OG build, OG AP build. And this Kai'Sa is gonna do a lot. This Kai'Sa is gonna be, yes, you're AP, you're dealing a lot of AP damage, but this AP comes with a price. You deal AP, but you don't hit as much. But if you hit your W, then the reset on your W is way quicker. So for example, Whitman being hit right now, in the second, this W will be available one more time. So he will be able to use it one more time. Every single time it hits, it gives you a lot.
Yeah. And it's just the fact of how efficient this poke is and how incredibly long range it is. Zeri has the range in her abilities herself, but it's so hard for anybody to compete with Kai'Sa in that sense. I am not always a fan of full AP builds on Kai'Sa, but in this situation, I can see where it's coming from. There is already a lot of AP damage on the side of back to the game, but I feel like Cozy should be able to balance it out a little bit with his own Camille, and she deals quite a lot of damage, let's be fair. So for Salami to be able to hit the enemies from afar, and now also adding Luden's companion to the build, he is going to be a problem for Forsaken, because his Ws are going to cut through Ruffin and Whitman very quickly.
And Forsaken right now, in the situation that is gonna be, I would say, quite interesting, because Charisma engages on a corridor. He used a lot, and he didn't get anything back in exchange. That's not looking good. Charisma just used his W and the flash.
And the timing is not good. The timing is not good for using these abilities, because the Drake is coming up. Wait, see those W's already hitting quite a lot?
Yeah.
The shield was not there on time for Rapid, and it couldn't help him. Now the Herald is getting unleashed from the side of back to the game.
Another W, and another one.
Oh my god, he's almost dead.
Yeah, Whitman is out of the teamfight. He can't even join, and now it's just looking terrible for Forsaken. The first kill is gonna go the way of back to the game, but these Ws are so good, man. I mean, that's exactly what they should do. Like, Forsaken, learn to build. That's what you need to do. Learn to build, quite literally.
They just know it better. They can adjust their builds and their strategies in the game. They can improvise, adapt, and overcome. Whitman is... I gotta give it to Whitman. He's going with a slightly different build, and I like it more. I don't think Runon's second after static is helpful to Zeri whatsoever. Navori's second after static is giving you much more early game damage, early quote-unquote damage to work with. But Sisyph right now onto Roughbin, I don't think it's a good idea for Roughbin,
Well,
actually.
Yeah, it's nothing else is gonna happen. So yeah, that's about it for now. I've been slowly pushing the wave. Not much else that should be happening for the next few minutes until the next Drake obviously is gonna be there. So yeah, then it's gonna be a little bit different.
Or maybe very different. Maybe very different. That is going to be such a nice soul, by the way. Like, Mountain Soul is so... I quite like it. I think it's a very intricate one, but I think it could help Forsaken quite a lot. The shields that the soul could give them could help a lot against all the poke that Salami is just constantly throwing their way. And the guy is not gonna stop. I wonder what his third item is gonna be. If it's Void Staff, is it Crypto Bloom? If he's a complete maniac, I love Crypto Bloom. I'm a very big Crypto Bloom enjoyer. I'm not sure how much it's going to work right here in this build, but why not? I don't know.
Okay, why are you Crypto Bloom enjoyer?
I like the healing resets that it gives. First of all, I like the design of the item. I think it's a very smart one. But secondly, I really love the possibility for you as a team to start playing around those resets. Because it doesn't matter if you kill or get an assist. The healing is still going to go. And the range is really high. So most likely it's going to hit everybody from your team. And you can snowball from there on. So getting this reset, healing up a little bit. And suddenly you don't have to disengage if anything was going wrong for you before you can go back into the fight. Plus, it cuts through the armor and everything. So it's a good item. I like it.
It is. What is also a good item is what Salami is having right now. Slowly getting towards the third one. I just want to hit 1W. Like, I just want to see 1W hit. And when I do, I'm just going to be happy. Because I know how much damage is going to be. Not this time.
A bit later. Don't worry, he will hit. He hits the vast majority of those. But right now, he will need to do that.
And that's a good timing. That's a good timing. I like that. They understood that if Salami is out on W cooldown, there is not much that he's gonna be offering in terms of AP. He's not gonna be doing that much damage because his W is like literally one of the main sources of what he can offer right now. So I really like that what Forsaken did in this certain situation. They waited for the cooldown and they actually made it work. And now 2 items for Whitman. He's slowly building up toward the first one. And when he does, he's gonna be super strong.
Oh yeah, that's finally going to be the fully built and unleashed Zeri. At the same time, there is Roughbin on the top lane who might be dead right now, by the way. Yeah.
He does have a flash, but Shasku has... Okay, the TP. Okay, they are going back right now. Okay, now it's getting interesting. Shasku does have a flash, but he won't use it.
He won't have to use it. But back to the Gemma here, and the W.
Hit. And another one.
Oof.
And that's half of a tank's health.
Frontline, by the way.
And the third one.
Oh, he has to recall now. Yeah. Salami. Kai'Sa. Full AP Kai'Sa. Another fun champion for you for today. But is it giving back to the game an advantage around the Baron pit? There is still 90 seconds before the next Drake, and that's going to be an important milestone. But I feel like right now they're more focused on the top part of the map.
And now, Charisma, I mean, you know, he's not a tank. Just look at this HP bar. He's level 7, by the way. A quarter is level 9. Okay, level 8 now. Level 8, fair enough.
Okay.
That's something.
That's something, but it's still not good enough. And Forsaken will need him. They will need anything, to be honest, when the next fight comes. Because the Drake is coming up. Less than a minute already. Ariana is on the bot side of the map. And I wonder if Forsaken are going to rotate to the bot lane. I don't feel like they can because of Cozy on the top lane. Who's sitting there with a TP, by the way. There is so much threat to the top lane in general and to the Baron coming from back to the game. Oh, Charisma.
Yeah, and Charisma right now caught off guard a little bit. But nothing else is going to happen. 30 seconds towards the next Drake. And this Drake is going to be super important. If Forsaken are going to be in the situation to take it, that could actually mean that they would be very favored to win the game.
He did it, by the way, Kasper. He built the Crypto Bloom on Kai'Sa. I am so happy.
Yeah, it's kind of GG now. I mean, she's just going to be... It's a tank, by the way. It's a tank, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they need to kill Salami. If they don't kill Salami, he is just gonna poke them to death.
How do you kill him? He's gotta stay so far away unless he jumps in with the killer instinct.
He hit it again. Bellet is half health. And Charisma now. I mean, that's all they need to do. It's just
Yes.
Kai'Sa AP. That's it.
Yes, and as silly as it gets, Ariana, good angle.
Ballet could go for a steal. Ballet could go for the steal, and he won't get it. Such a disaster, and now he's about to die as the first one in the team fight. Nice engage from Charisma, but Salami is still alive. Salami is still doing the work. Salami is dead right now, so Ravbin will fall as well. It's gonna be a 2-4-2. Whitman is doing the damage, but Whitman will be the next one to fall if he doesn't escape. Cozy will get him through the wall. Cozy was waiting for this exact situation for 25 minutes of the game, and now Charisma on the wrong side of Summoner's Rift as Forsaken will fall once again.
Ay. Oh, and Ariana is gonna fall. Such a good day for Cozy. Such good news for Cozy and good news for back to the game. They get the Drake. They lost some in the process. It is rather interesting, first of all, that right now Charisma is still alive somehow. But second of all, what I wanted to say, it's rather interesting how Salami's death affected the fight a lot, but not as much as it could have. Oh my god, are they really still chasing? Okay, finally Charisma is released from his misery. That was way too long, but it doesn't matter too much. So look at Salami right here, because the guy keeps his distance, then he doesn't. He jumps right into the fight, realizes that it's a wrong move because everybody wants him dead, flashes over the wall, but it's Whitman in the end who gets him. The 3-item Zeri is a very strong one, and in an up-close fight like that, she is stronger than an AP Kai'Sa. But we talked a lot about the importance of Cozy pick into Whitman, and he delivered, but now the Baron is almost dead.
And not only he is almost dead, Bellet is dead, and Baron is as well. Forsaken, it's happening all over again. They are just losing it on the map. They just don't know what is happening. They're like, you know what? Okay, let's go for the fight. Oh no, we lose the fight. What do we do next? We don't know. And that's basically it. That's the strategy, ladies and gentlemen, and it's not working in the playoffs. Sorry, but no experience equals no win.
You know what? I have nothing to add. Yeah, I wouldn't know myself what to do, but okay, I should stop using myself as example. I am a really bad League of Legends player. Unlike, for example, Cozy, who just sees Ariana, he's like, I want my revenge. You made me go 0-3 on the top lane. I want you dead!
Yeah, and he will go for this revenge. There's nothing Ariana can do about that. Another kill for back to the game. They're just dominating right now on Summoner's Rift. They are just able to get everything they want to, and Whitman going for Bloodthirster.
It kept him alive in the previous fight. His damage output was good. He was living for long enough to deal that damage to Salami specifically, but it's the fact that it's not just Salami they need to get rid of. It's everybody from back to the game who are already so damn strong that Whitman just removing one from the fight is not enough anymore.
Yeah, I guess, and well, Forsaken now in the situation that it's not the situation that I envy them in. Not a lot they can do. They just need to give everything away, with Camille being so strong, with Orianna being so strong. My beard is safe because, like I said, I mean, with this draft, you are not gonna lose. Like,
yes.
How are you even supposed to? I was not even worried for a second, honestly. Like, does this? Like, I'm happy in one part because I saved my beard, but on the other hand, it's just sad because Forsaken, they drafted it on purpose because they thought it's good, but you just don't have a win con around this draft, and your win con is giving everything to Whitman. Look at the CS discrepancy for him and for the rest of the team. 205 for Ariana, 147 for Bellet, around 200 for Ravbin, and 326 for Whitman. They are literally giving him every single thing on Summoner's Rift. They want to give him anything. Like, just let him build towards the 4th item. Just let him have it. And then maybe play around in the team fight. But unfortunately, they are just never in the team fight.
The thing is, Whitman is not staying alive in those team fights, even with the Bloodthirster, which I kind of think is a good item. You can argue me on that, and I'll be fine to accept if I'm wrong, but I do like it on Zeri in this situation. The thing is, it is Zeri who is not supposed to be in this situation whatsoever in this draft, because Forsaken allowed back to the game to get way too many things. Sure, they banned out Vi, for example. They got some things for themselves too. But in the end, if there is Cozy playing against you and you give him that Camille that he's so proficient with. If you know already from the previous game that Akora is very fine with playing Maokai's support on the bot lane and you allow it to slip through the draft, you're doing something very wrong if you think that for the second time in a row going for Zeri is a good decision.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they thought Zeri is good because they saw it yesterday. But even yesterday, like I said, there was a huge difference in terms of how Zeri was played. And now, I mean, let's talk about Zeri. She's out of the team fight again. Cozy humiliating Ravbin, getting him done in 1 second. Whitman not doing any damage. It's a double kill for Hozzy. Give him a triple. He deserves it. Let him go even for the ace if it's what it has to be. Cozy, he would love to go for it, but he won't need to. 4 kills, and what I see is the end of this game number 2.
Hey, Zeri didn't die in this fight yet. Zeri even got a kill in this. Oh, so close. Oh, but now he still had the killer instinct. Salami still had the killer instinct. It's an unofficial triple for Salami, but it doesn't matter because what is official about this game is that it is a 2-0 for back to the game. Just one more victory away from getting into the series with Zero Tenacity tomorrow. Just one more loss away of Forsaken from getting out of the playoffs of Ultraliga, of this season of Ultraliga. So much is on the stakes for them right now. Just one more loss and they're out. But if they don't wake up right now, it is never happening for them.
Yeah, if they don't wake up right now, it's about to be the end very, very fast. Yesterday, Veteran said that when it was 2-0, that it's gonna be 3-0. I was kind of feeling the same way, but it didn't happen. But now I feel it. I feel it's about to happen.
Yeah.
But let's ask the man himself. Let's ask Veteran about it. What happened, my man? Because it looked like it was even better for Forsaken, and well, until it wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, this draft from back to the game was actually really, really good. I think they had control factors for the Zeri. Zeri opted into Kai'Sa, which was already really weird, and they didn't ban out the Maokai with the Vi ban already being done. So you had Maokai and Kai'Sa and Camille able to get the lockdown on towards the Zeri, and then you had Java and Oriana as the control factors into the Karma, so you had really good control against both of the carries of Forsaken on the side of back to the game. The only potential issue would just be that obviously Aatrox into multiple melees, volley into multiple melees, that could go really, really badly. But the way that the game played out was that you went the AP route on the Kai'Sa, and so Camille, where she was lacking in a lot of income at a point, you had to spend your gold on more of Malmortius, and now the Camille can run away with damage in the game herself now. So there's a really good damage mix coming back to the game to get around that one area in the draft where they had an issue with. And then the game played out kind of as you would expect. Zeri wasn't able to get any advantage over the Kai'Sa. The Karma had to play really safe on the early push in the mid lane, and whereas top lane was going really good for them, that didn't end up mattering later on because their carries weren't able to do anything. The Aatrox had to pray that the enemy just played fully into him all the time, and that just wasn't going to happen.
But within all these depressive thoughts, Veteran, do you see any positive improvements for Forsaken compared to the previous game, or not really?
Yes.
We're just depression.
I think there's one really, really good improvement here, which is that there's absolutely no way that they just slam Zeri in the next game as well. And they actually give their boy Whitman in the bot lane something that he can just run through lane with. This guy has played Kog'Maw. This guy has played Lucian. Sure, Varus has banned this game, but he still has Jhin. He has other carries that could do something bot lane, because you will be in this situation again where he is alone against Salami while the whole map is going top side, playing out this blood feud that Gleb held up in before the first draft, right? So please put him on something where they can't just leave bot lane alone, where he can just get these kills, because Whitman has been really good about doing that in the regular split. Just him to do it again, it's not going to happen on Zeri, all right? Even if you go like Kraken first 8, it's not going to happen. Just please pick him something he can win the 1v1s with on bot.
I mean, I see one more improvement as well. They are just one game from going home, so at least it will put them out of their misery. So that's something that.
Wow, guys!
Plus, they shaved my beer. They saved my beer. I said I'm gonna shave my beer.
I heard that.
Yeah, I mean, I was not worried for a second. Honestly, I was not worried for a second. But well, unfortunately, it looks bad for Forsaken. I agree with Veteran. That's basically not picking Zeri is the only positive that I see in here. Not looking good for them, unfortunately. But there is also something to think about that is positive, that we are going straight into map number 3, but only after a very short break.
Sí. ¿Vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí.
Ah, mira.
¿Tú de qué parte eres?
Del norte.
Oh man, I feel like that was my best intro ever.
Yeah, not bad, hey, not bad. Just saying, I can go pro. You know it as well. I also know you can dance. You should join me next time. And yes, I feel like you've also deserved a bit of a break. You've earned it.
Thanks.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Good job.
Hey, thank you.
Wjedź do elektryzującego świata esportu i zagraj z nami. Moc energii zapewnia elektryczna Kia EV6.
She always times her entrance, and she never looks into the crowd. She craves the raw attention. She'll do anything, but not out loud. Pastels and cherry gloss, she wants to rule the night. The way she pretends to be indifferent. She always times her entrance, and she never looks into the crowd. She craves the raw attention. She'll do anything, but not out loud. Oh, yeah. The way she pretends to be impatient. The way she pretends to be indifferent. The way
And welcome back to Samsung Galaxy Ultraliga, the second day of the playoffs. We still have back to the game and we still have Forsaken, but we will have to wave goodbye to one of those teams today. Maybe it's going to be Forsaken because you're just one loss away from going home. My name is Solari. I am joined here today by Kasper and Veteran. Forsaken, right? Last chance for them, right? What do they do right now if they win?
I mean, it's a really appropriate name for this team because they have forsaken their chances somewhat by doubling down on this Zeri pick for the entire time. I'm just waiting for stuff like the Vayne to get slammed down. But since they're willing to be picking this into the Kaiser, I do worry. I want to see a lane bully bot. I want to see a skirmish on bot because the consistent pattern when these two teams meet is the game is all about these skirmishes on top side. So there's a 1v1 on bot. They need to take advantage of that. That's what I want to see.
And we got the information that they chose red side, which means it's going to be interesting. Do you think that's maybe the opportunity for them to go back to the winnings way?
I think they need to ban Senna this time around. And if they ban Senna this time around, there could be options opening up in draft for them. Hold on AD on the first two picks, go for AD on third or fourth. I'm really interested in what this means about the top lane matchup, because this is very likely to just be fifth pick top lane. It has been every single one of these drafts. I'm interested to see what happens there, because even when it was Kasante v Renekton, right? Even when it was these matchups where you're not expecting that much priority, it was still an absolute bloodbath. So that's what I'm looking at.
I would still rather not have Xante as the R5 pick. It kind of makes the whole idea of the R5 pick a little bit less interesting. I also agree with you in the sense that I don't want to see Zeri for Forsaken anymore. I think I understand why they're trying to hold onto this pick so much, but it's just not working for them, for Whitman, for the whole team. There are always ways for back to the game to play around it, so it's something that is the time for them to ditch. What other changes should be there for them? Or rather, you know what, no Veteran, should there be any changes for back to the game in game number 3?
Yeah. Both sides need to recognize that Jarvan's going to be a very high priority, because the low mobility mages are the name of the game for both of these mid laners right now, and both those matchups get significantly changed by Jarvan. People wondering why like Karma is losing priority early into Orianna is purely because of the presence of the Jarvan in game. I think whichever team secures Jarvan in the early rotation, they do mess up the mid lane matchups for the other side. But this is Ultraliga, so Korotkiy is still a factor. Korotkiy is that thing that you do want to have if Jarvan's on the enemy team. Doesn't care so much about being a low mobility champion in towards, because he's not a low mobility champion.
So do you think there's anything else apart from Jarvan that would be very interesting to see being picked as maybe a surprise pick from both Forsaken and Back to the Game? Because it feels like it's definitely on Forsaken to do something, right? Because Back to the Game, they are just chilling. They know they are 2-0 up. There is not much for them to do. They are just, waiting and letting them pick whatever they want. But do you feel like there is anything in particular that Forsaken can maybe pick?
I mean, if you want to make things interesting and spicy, if you give over a volley bear scenario again, I'm still begging to see Vayne being locked in on top side. If you really want to prove you should have won those tryouts, just annihilate this guy on his melee picks with the Vayne. I don't see that. I don't see Forsaken as a team that has the most potential for the spicy picks, though. That does seem to very much be Back to the Game. They are where I would anticipate seeing these kinds of things from. I honestly think Forsaken, they need to just double down on being a standard lane composition and just consider bot lane more in this particular matchup. They have a boring route to win, but it is a win if they do that, and it would make the series a lot more interesting. So that would be the counter argument to whether it's truly boring or not.
I think I would also like to see one change, and that is maybe Twisted Fate not being a ban coming from the side of Forsaken. I understand it in the sense that both of these top leaders have played Twisted Fate on the top lane, but Ariana has felt so comfortable on it, and it just opens up so many possibilities on the map to the team. I don't see why it is Forsaken every single time banning it.
I would say that it's probably because if enemy is able to first pick TF and flex it, Senna is less of a viable pick for you now, because RFC TF is actually a really good counter pick in towards Senna. And so that would probably be the fear. TF is a very powerful pick as a counter in the current meta, so I do understand its ban. If they open it up, though, I do think TF bot lane gets respected too much in laning phase. I actually think it should lose a lot more laning phases than it does, potentially even Senna lanes. So there is an option for them to do that if they are intending to all in on bot lane. Because if they just give over TF and then lock in Zeri again and get surprised when they lose the game, I don't know what to tell you.
We will see, but from what I know, we get straight into the draft, so
Yeah.
thank you, veteran, and maybe we will see you after the game straight up to maybe sum it up for us, because it certainly feels like a 3-0 is a possibility, so let's go straight into the draft, and let's see what is going on here. Hui banned Varus and Volibear as well, so we haven't lost much.
Twisted Fate banned out by Forsaken in the end, so all the arguments for maybe not, banning him out, for leaving him open, just don't matter anymore. The Volibear ban from the start of Back to the Game is a rather important one, and the Smolder ban coming from them. You're usually, Kasper, the one who doesn't really like Smolder bans on the blue side, but Back to the Game for sure have some plan on their mind. And if Senna is not going to be banned out by Forsaken right now, which is something like, okay, they are going to do that. They had to do it, otherwise it would have been taken away by Back to the Game. But what is their first move? Orianna, just the safest option for the blue side first pick ever invented.
So that means Forsaken learned their option in a way. Like, I would say they learned a little bit about what the dangers were, but definitely they still need to surprise us a little bit. They go for Viant Kai'Sa. And again, with Forsaken, I'm not quite sure whether it's Kai'Sa AP or AD. That's why I'm worried. Because if it's gonna be Kai'Sa AD, I'm not the fan. If it's Kai'Sa AP, I am a fan.
Yeah, I got it already. You just prefer AP Kai'Sa. Oh, frankly speaking, the previous game, Back to the Game kind of showed us why exactly AP Kai'Sa should be respected so much. Now that's interesting, to say the least. Back to the Game are the ones to pick Zeri for Salami for themselves. The pick that was not feeling well for the past 2 games. Maybe it's just them flexing on Forsaken. Maybe that's just them saying, hey, you know what? We're not afraid to pick Zeri into you and show you how it's supposed to be played, even if we pick it into Kai'Sa and into Vi.
Yeah, and what the picks are gonna be for Back to the Game right now is gonna be Zeri, and Zeri lost twice today, so it's finally time to maybe spice it up a little bit, get her win ratio a little bit higher. So it's gonna be Nocturne and Orianna. We know how this combo can be a problem. We know how strong it can be. So for me, at least, to see it being picked right now, it's already favoring Back to the Game quite heavily.
Yeah, I would say I'm still worried for Zeri in this scenario, but I feel like Nocturne is not just about, neutralizing the enemy team because of his lights out. He's also providing so much protection for his own team, because there is no way that this Vi can see Zeri from afar and jump on top of her if she doesn't see anything what is happening around her. This pick, this third pick from Forsaken, is a rather interesting one, because this is Jace for Roughbin, I would assume, but can still go into Ariana's hands if they see a little bit more going further into the draft. But this is even more long-range poke. Now I am begging for them to go for AP Kai'Sa, because they have so much poke and they can throw it onto the enemy so safely, right until, though, there is an ultimate from Nocturne.
Yeah, and it's Jace pick. That's interesting. Where this Jace is gonna go for? We need to remember Ariana can always try to pick a mid laner for himself. So there's always that. There is this possibility. Let's see the balances. Aatrox banned versus Cozy. Makes sense. Maybe ban Camilla as well, seeing what he did last time. That sounds like a plan as well. So on the other hand, it's Rumble banned. So yeah, quite interesting to see what they go for. It could actually kind of force Ariana to go for Gnar, which I wouldn't like. And it kind of looks like it will. Aatrox banned, TF banned, Rumble banned. If they ban one more top laner, it could be a Gnar game for him.
And they did. They banned out Gwen. So yes, it can be Gnar. I'm hoping that they will find something else. I'm also hoping that this marker that they're showing to us right now is going to be locked, because it's going to be a really good pick for them. I still like what Forsaken are drafting right now. I like it much more compared to the previous 2 games. The only problem is that still there is that Nocturne on the side of Back to the Game that's kind of negating all of the good things on the side of Forsaken.
And let's see what the finish is gonna be. I wouldn't like Trash, but I would like maybe an Enchanter. That makes sense. But yeah, you're not in the meta of playing Enchanters on support, so I guess it's just gonna be Engager no matter what. It's Alistar being played just like that. Sylas is open. I'm just saying. Switch Jace towards top side. Go Sylas straight up. You have Orianna ulti. Maybe not the best, but Nocturne and Alistar, it's S tier. It's literally S tier Sylas ultis that he can steal, so I would like that. Why not? Just go for it. You're one game away from losing either way. What do you have to lose? I mean, you're already in a bad spot. You're not like it's not gonna get any better than that.
Frankly, I would love Silas so much right now for Forsaken. We haven't seen him in way too long. Long gone are the times when he was one of the most dominant picks on the mid lane. But him being able to still, especially the knockout, for Forsaken to snatch this possibility to turn the lights off would be absolutely crucial. But I don't think that is the plan. I don't think they feel bold enough to go. Yeah, it's going to be Gragas.
Yeah, it's just, it's not the... It's not something that I like just super much. Really, not. Like Gragas, yeah, it gives you a lot of counter engage, right? You have Gragas, you have Maokai, you have Jace, but it feels like, again, not a Forsaken draft. It feels like back to the game right now. They drafted something for themselves, and honestly, I'm gonna say it right now. With this being in this spot, I see back to the game going for 3-0, straight up. I like the optimism from your Solari. Like, no reaction, just...
I am... No, you know what? I want to disagree with you so bad right now. I want to tell you no. No, this is an angle for Forsaken to find their footing in the game. This is a 5-game series again, like we had tomorrow. But you know what? I don't have strength in me to do that. I don't think I believe in Forsaken enough. I am very sorry, Forsaken. I still like all of you, but I don't think I have it in me. So yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't really look good. It certainly doesn't. And now, what we need to have is, you remember it happened yesterday? A team that is up 2-0 might do something stupid. Especially if you have Alistair on your team, which is not doing much in terms of level 1, in terms of level 2. He might do a lot more in terms of level 3 and 4. So maybe now, maybe something crazy is going to happen. Who knows? There is always a possibility of that.
Now, there is always a possibility of something crazy happening. I'm just not sure how much it is about him doing something in the early game, He will keep Salami safe. He will keep him protected. If Shask wants to come to the bot lane, they can have some things going on. But I don't think Shasky wants to come to the bot lane. This is Nocturne. He wants to do a little speedrunning game all the way towards his level 6. And after that, yes, we're talking. But before that, he needs his ulti.
Yeah, exactly. And when he gets to level 6, we know that he's going to be a threat. He is going to be really, really tough to deal with. And now the engage from Mariana won't find anything. Cozy, I mean, that's a good thing going in for Forsaken, right? When we see lanes, like lane matchups, it looks good. It looks good for them. Gragas likes playing versus Renekton because he can always counter his engage. Kai'Sa Maokai also like playing versus Zeri because it's like the Zeri is not going to be dealing a lot. But with this Hail of Blade being picked up, I think we have the answer whether it's going to be AP or AD Kai'Sa Solari.
Yeah. We already saw in the previous game that was exactly the Hail of Blades Kai'Sa. And she was feeling extremely comfortable going later in the game. However, is she going to feel as comfortable right now? I think the chances are there for Whitman. He has a really nice support by his side. He is in a winning matchup on the bot lane overall. He has some really good targets for his W's on the enemy team. Very nice proc that is not going to be matched by anybody from back to the game. Only Zeri can even try to do it, but nobody else. So I can see the way for him to play around this. However, one thing right here, I want Forsaken in this game to be playing around their bot lane. We saw them putting so much attention towards the top lane, towards shutting down Cozy. With this Gragas pick, they could try to go for it again, but I wouldn't want them to do it. I think the idea for them should be in this game to try to help out Whitman truly shine.
And will he, though? I mean, he certainly does have a possibility of that. And I mean, we need to see. I mean, there is a way back for Forsaken to come back into the series. What it requires is a stomp game this game, and then maybe a hard-fought game the next one. And then I can believe that they can do it. I mean, then it's 2-2, and then maybe they can try to do it. But it's all going to be lost if you lose right now. Flash for Flash, a quarter's Flash for Christmas Flash. I would say that's even.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can feel that Forsaken are a little bit scared. They understand the importance of this game, how important it is to win. You don't want to make any mistakes.
Bellied on the bot lane. Shaski's in the mid lane in the meantime, rotating towards the top side of the enemy's jungle. So Bellied, I don't think he's going to find anything here. I don't think Salami or Kor are going to overstep. They've been trying to keep this lane as safe as possible, keeping the farm coming in, but it's not about them, it's about a quarter.
Yeah, it's about a quarter being maybe dead. The Ignite will burn! And that means a first blood for Whitman. That's the start we've been hoping to see for Forsaken. Now, no trade kills anywhere else on the map. They will just stop the recall of Bellet. But this is something we've been hoping for. This is a clean first blood for them. Something they needed.
I like that it's happening on the bot lane. I like that it's the first blood for Whitman. However, I don't want to ruin the mood, but need to remind you that the same situation happened in the first 2 games, and now Orianna is the one in danger.
I mean, yeah, when it happens in the first 2 games, it's a little bit different, right? Solari and he is in danger because it is gonna be the execute. That's looking nice, especially right now for Shasky, who is, look at that. I mean, Bellet, yes, he got the kill. I mean, he helped to get a kill, but he lost so much time in the meanwhile. He's already 3 camps behind Shasky, which means Shasky will go back to base. He will just buy himself a Phage, and with having that, he's gonna be in the super nice spot. This Nocturne is slowly building up to be the carry. Not yet, but he does have a kill, which will help him to actually be in the even better spot than he was before. So the fact that he got a kill and it was an execution and an exchange, that's super good.
Yes, he has the potential to be the carry, but now Roughbean has the potential to maybe die?
Or maybe not. It's gonna be a knock-up. Now Roughbean goes all in, but it's a 2v3 if they decide to go in there. Okay, actually a 3v3 because Bellet and Shasky were there as well. It was still favoring back to the game in my opinion because of the level discrepancy between Shasky. If Sisyph actually gets to level 6, he might just kill Roughbean.
Yeah. He most likely will be able to kill him, but he's not at level 6 just yet. The wave is on his way, so Roughbean is getting a more or less good recall, let's put it this way. However, for Forsaken right now, the situation looks like that. They have 2 Void Grabs. They didn't get the last one. Somehow he's still alive. Poor baby. Witnessed its friends, its brothers die, and then was left to live with that trauma. But the Drake is still alive there on the bot side of the map.
Yeah, and Forsaken right now, they need some good information for them. Again, they got the first blood and then one stupid mistake and all of it just goes away. They need to try to fight, I would say. They have a draft that is that gives you the possibility of fighting, and Sisyph, he does have a shockwave as well. Could be an engage on Shasky, and it will be. Nice poke, damage, Roughbean. He can also try to poke a little bit. Having Jace close by, always a good thing. And yeah, Shasky is very happy with what happened in the last few minutes. He still does have a lot of his camps to do, so soon Paranoia will be available.
Oh yes, look at that. He can take the last Void Grab right now. He can go to his blue. Then he can rotate to the bot side of the map if he wants to. He's going to be close to the bot lane and to the Drake. And he is actually already level 6. So that is perfect game for Shasky already. He has won the duel between Bellet without even fighting him directly.
I mean, and that's amazing. I mean, if you're able to do that, that's super good. And now, I mean, Forsaken, in the spot where I don't envy them at all. They need some time, and they need to be able to get into the stronger points. Whitman slowly building up towards the first item. But like I said, right now, Bellet, okay, he's level 6 as well, and I would say level 6 is actually pretty good, but this is the combo we've been talking about. Paranoia plus the Shockwave basically gives you all you need, and now Bellet fighting. He's trying to go 1v2. Are you sure about that, buddy? That was a little bit crazy, and you're gonna pay the price. 3-0 Nocturne. Have fun against that.
Good luck doing anything about Shasky at this point in the game or anywhere later. That is a very big win con for back to the game. And you can see Bellet was around at the correct time. The sixth sense for him was working correctly. But it is the fact that when the lights go off, what can you do? You don't see anything. You need to be hugging your teammates and pray that it's not you who is the target of the Nocturne's ultimate. And if it's you, especially if Orianna is around, well, the control and the damage are way too much for you to deal with.
Absolutely, and it looks like we are just about to see maybe the beginning of the end. Maybe the beginning of the end, because this combo was really, really well played, and honestly, I like how it went for them. And now, is it about to be 3-0? I guess it kinda is, and I'm not sure if I feel good about that. I guess Bellet doesn't feel good about that either. He just left the game. He just, you know what, guys? I'm done. You just play yourself. I'm done. I'm not playing anymore.
Who needs a jungler anyway? Like, whoever needed their jungler anyway. Oh, Sisyph, that's a lot of damage.
I mean, he's still alive. A quarter is close by. Yeah. I mean, Robin could try to maybe find it, but yeah, he's not gonna be able to do anything about that. No shock was available for him. So now, Forsaken, I mean, I don't want to be the one to say it, but they need to start doing something, because I feel like if this game goes late, they are not winning.
Yeah.
They are not winning late. And
Salami.
now goes for Salami. He goes straight on Whitman, forcing the heal, forcing the bad trade. Flash forward! Salami just made Whitman a Salami. And it looks absolutely
He
disgusting.
didn't get the
Canopinion! I mean, who cares about that? If you get killed, you're cool
We
with
all
that.
do.
And now,
Oh no.
and now you're gonna be losing even more. Nice ultimate, Ariana, but it's not gonna save the poor Gragas. He maybe is dead. He should be dead. He is dead now. And it's gonna be 1v2 under the tower, straight up going for the dive. Cozy tanking a lot. Will Bellet go for it? He doesn't want to do it, which means back to the game even more ahead than they were previously.
I'm telling you, Forsaken should just straight on get into the game and give away the first blood, because whenever they get the first blood, they are losing the game right after that happens. It is like a curse for them. They did it for 2 games in a row. Now is the third one. They took the first blood, but then things started crumbling down for them, and it's not a good look anymore. 5-1 is the case right now. A little bit less than 2k gold difference between the teams. 3-0-1 Nocturne, still 1-0-0 Salami with a 1-on-1 victory onto Whitman. I don't know, Kasper, but I feel like we are not gonna stay here for long. I feel like it's going to be 3-0 for back to the game. I want to be wrong though. I want Forsaken to do something right now.
And I mean, you maybe will have your wish fulfilled, because it looks like Whitman is about to take the kill. No.
No way! No.
What? Like how? How? Like, oh, he can't keep getting away with this.
But he does. But he is. That's the problem, Kasper. They're allowing him to just roll around the map freely, and their team is not supposed to do that, but somehow it is happening for Salami. Salami is unstoppable right now. I mean, he is a little bit stoppable, as we could just see, but 35 more stacks on his call, and I have a feeling that he is going to be indeed unstoppable. I wonder what the second item choice is going to be for him, because this is still the static shift Zeri, but I'm telling you, the idea of picking her for back to the game of the draft was, hey, we're going to show you how she's supposed to be played like, and they are doing it.
Oh, yes, they are. Or rather, Salami is. This is Zeri on another level. I like that Zeri, and I mean, honestly, they are just skill checking them. It's not the matter of a game plan. It's not the matter of vision advantage. It's the matter of how you play certain situations, and it feels like they are just playing it right. They are just playing it like they want to play it. I respect that. I like it. It feels like it's looking good for back to the game right now, and it feels like Forsaken not in the greatest spot. If they are about to get 3-0, that would be very sad, because we heard a lot of promises. We heard, oh, we are definitely a top 3 team. Ariana said, I'm a top 3 top laner. Well, are you, though? Because it doesn't look like it. Certainly not right now.
Yes, not today. And not in general. To be fair, if Forsaken lose 3-0 today, that is going to be a 5-0 score for them against Back to the Game, because in the best of ones, Back to the Game won both of their games against Forsaken. Not a good look whatsoever, especially for the team that really wanted so desperately to get into the playoffs. And yes, he said, promised us that they're going to show us so much more in the best of fives. Unfortunately, they're just under-delivering today.
It just feels like now Kozzy fighting against Ariana is looking good for Ariana, to be fair. He does have the ultimate. He could try to go for it. I mean, that's the courtesy of having Rod of Ages for yourself. Not even stacked up, but it gives you a lot. Every single stop, every single stack is giving you a lot. Who is gonna win this one? It looks like it's Shasku. It's Bellet who was able. It's Bellet who was able to get it. Back to the game though, not stopping. They are in this game, and well, they are taking a lot from their enemies. Nice W from Whitman, but it's not giving you that much, unfortunately.
No, not really. Not yet. Needs more items. And we have the Cam Drake as the soul of this game. Fine. I still love the terrain of this Drake more than any other terrain, I think. But as the soul, it's not the juiciest one. However, juicy or not, it's still a soul. A soul is a soul, as you said yourself, Kasper, the previous game. And back to the game are just 2 Drakes away from it. On top of that, they have 4 Void Grabs. And I have a feeling that they want to go for the Herald as well. So far, they've been trying to prioritize the Herald as early as possible. To be fair, the opening for Herald is not that big, but they really tried to go for it. And they could. They could, especially with the reset for Cozy right now. He's walking all the way back to the top lane. I can see back to the game taking it and most likely trying to open up the mid lane.
There is possibility of opening up the mid lane, that's for sure, but I feel like the biggest possibility right now is for back to the game to just play it safe. We saw already how they behave when they have a lead. They don't force the issue, they just wait. And they wait patiently and they wait good because they understand we don't need to do anything. The game will come into our hand. So if we got the first 2 Drakes, okay, we don't need to do nothing for the next 3 minutes. Just put the vision down on the Drake and then we can fight. But they need to remember it's also gonna buy time for the other team. Ariana on the next 2 Drake, maybe not in the next one, but 2 Drakes from now, he's gonna be on 2 strong items, which will always be a issue. Because we see right now, even when he's leveled down, he is forcing the ultimate out of Kozzy, which is definitely a nice find. Another tower shot that Kozzy got. Nice E from him. Maybe the ultimate from Ariana could actually find him in the nice spot, but yeah, apparently Kozzy is just healing way too much.
Sundered Sky as the first item on Renekton, and there is not really much you can say to this Renekton anymore because his healing is a little bit way too much for you. It feels like back to the game in general are a little bit too forsaken right now. But I'm looking at the bot lane. I'm looking at the minimap Kasper because Shasku, yes, he is doing exactly what I wanted him to do. He's getting the Herald in, but I think on the bot lane, Bellet is wasting some time trying to look for a play.
Yes, he is, and now, I mean, it just feels like everything is going against Forsaken. Everything is just not looking good. And what are they even supposed to do right now? Ariana fighting against Kozzy. He understands that Kozzy doesn't have the ultimate, so that could be a nice opportunity for him.
Yeah, it's like Kozzy doesn't care about turret shots whatsoever anymore. He's just casually collecting them all, and nobody's able to do anything about it. Nobody's able to say anything to this Renekton right now. This is not the crocodile that you just hunt and turn into a burst. This crocodile is going to turn you into his breakfast, or lunch, or dinner, depending on the time of the day. But right now, the time of the day for back to the game is to go and win the game.
And well, Ariana, he doesn't have his ultimate up, so he can't go for the fight either. Herald on the middle, but yeah, nothing is happening on top from what I see. The health is pretty much the same. And yeah, Sisyph with Shasku just on the wrong, sorry, not on the wrong, but on the right side of Summoner's Rift doing the work. But yeah, Forsaken right now on the bad side of Summoner's Rift though, because they are not able to do much. 90 seconds towards the next Drake, and I feel like in this 90 seconds there's it would be lovely for them. I would give them a shot if they were able to find the second item for Ravbin, the second item for Kai'Sa, and a second item for Ariana, but we know that they won't. Yeah. That's the issue. That's the thing that I feel like even if one of them found the item, I will be like, okay, maybe I give them a shot in this fight, but I don't see it happening here.
Yeah, honestly, Whitman is the first person that could try to get to the second item right now, but I don't feel like he's being given enough farm, especially by back to the game, because they're not letting him find the safe enough places to go and solo farm on those lanes. Oh, Ariana is so damn aggressive still onto Cozy, but he has ballied around, so he knows he can afford it.
Yeah, he wanted to go for this. Oh my god, what are they doing? What are they actually doing? They are just diving him out, but it's not gonna work out. I don't like it. What are you doing, Charisma? Charisma, are you nuts? Why are you forcing one kill on one poor Renekton so
Why
hard
are we on
now?
the top lane? For a second!
5 men for top lane rotation. Now Salami, they are just outplaying them. 4 men knock up for a quarter, and then Shasky shows up. Double kill for Salami. Make it a triple instantly. Back to the game. Are back with another win for them. Another team fight, another game, and maybe even a series.
Sisyph wasn't even in this fight! What was the idea? Why were Forsaken all 5 men on the top lane when Sisyph was like, I don't care, I don't have a TP, you know what, I don't need it. I'm just going to destroy your mid lane in the meantime. And even without that, even disregarding Sisyph completely, even though we absolutely should not, what was the idea for Forsaken in the first place? What were they trying to push for? Why were they using the teleports there when it's almost a Drake time already and you are not supposed to be all together on the top lane forcing so much onto one poor Cozy? Why are they so obsessed with the man?
I'm not quite sure, but it cost them a lot.
Yes.
It certainly did cost them a lot, and holy, I mean, it's over. It's straight up over.
After this, yeah.
Yeah, there's not much they can do about it, and it looks like it's just about to be 3-0 because this Zeri is just so strong right now. And like I told you, back to the game, they are men of culture. They understood, okay, Zeri was being played twice, she lost twice, so it's her time to win. Pure statistics.
I see. No, you know what? I don't like it. I see your point, but I don't like it. I'm going to stick with my point that they just wanted to prove a point to Forsaken. God damn it. They have proven a point. 5-1 to Zeri versus a 2-1 Kaiser. That is a very big discrepancy right there. And oh my god, these guys are still fighting.
Oh yes, they are still fighting. But I'm not sure if you want to be fighting in this certain situation because it looks like a disaster right now for Forsaken. They are so far behind. It feels like, yeah, not much is gonna be happening right now for them. And well, what come back?
I can't really hear you. Is it on my side? Can you say something, Kasper, please?
Hello. I am.
It's like your microphone is acting up, but it may be something on my side. But you know what? It will work out because Akode right now, as you can see on your screens, he has 300 assists in Ultraliga in this game right here, right now. How many assists does he have in this game? 5. So he was just 5 away before going into this game. Huge congratulations to Akode and huge congratulations to Back to the Game because they are getting this Baron.
Yes. Oh, they definitely are. Bellet was not even able to do anything, and Shockwave plus Paranoia means, oh, quite possibly not doing a lot till the end of this game for Forsaken. They just gave away a Nash. I mean, they are gonna have some PTSD after this game, I can guarantee you that, with Nocturne just jumping onto them all the time. I would get it as well. I would be scared to go against Nocturne.
Yeah, honestly, imagine after that you're going in your bedroom and your party's like, can you please turn off the lights? And you're like, no, I can't.
Robin. Oh, Robin.
Robin! What? How much damage do you have?
Yeah, Robin was a little bit... he decided to go for it. And, well, guess what? It was not a good decision. 23 minutes into the game, and it looks like Back to the Game are about to get themselves a W, and if it's gonna be 3-0 in this sort of style, it spices up everything for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Where they will face Z10 for the spot in the grand finals on Ultraliga. The winner will play Orbit Anonymo on LAN for more than 50 people.
Yeah, more than... It's 600 more people, by the way. Oh, a shutdown! A shutdown! A shutdown! Okay, now we're coming back into the game. Maybe.
Maybe, but yeah, just one kill. Just won't do it. It's just not enough. The TP, it looks like they are desperate to do something, but yeah, it just feels like Ariana is gonna get himself a kill. Nice, but look at Salami. Holy, Salami is still doing the work. He's still doing the damage. The question is it gonna be enough? He's still trying to find the reset. He needs the reset to be able to fight. And now Charisma out of position. Who's gonna win this fight? It looks like it's about to be Forsaken. The first kill goes their way, and now Bellet, I mean, he's too scared to go on them. If you don't win this fight, what are you even supposed to do? Bellet looking for the engage. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna miss. And now Salami in the prime spot to do something else, to get the kill, to maybe get a W. The first kill is his. 1v2 fighting against Whitman. The second is his as well, but Ariana is there to save the day.
So many corpses right here, right now, but it is a double kill for Salami when he looked like as good as dead. Shasky, will he find him? Oh, he's gonna stop the recall. Oh no, he's not gonna stop the recall, but that was close enough, Shasky. We're gonna give it that. Look at the base of Forsaken in the meantime. It's going down. To be fair, back to the game kind of did go down in this fight as well. Quarter was the first one, of course, to be caught with so little health available for him already. And yes, Salami is trying to dance around. Salami is the one trying to find an opening for himself. But it's Forsaken who are doing a lot of back and forth in this fight, who are not giving him a chance for a timely enough reset. Afterwards, however, things go down for them because this undecisiveness for them, it killed Forsaken in this fight. It's either you commit it and go in, or you turn around and go when you're happy with how many kills you've gotten already. But they kind of can't decide up until the very last moment when they finally go on to Salami and keep the guy a double kill.
Yeah, now, I mean, what are they even supposed to do? What are Forsaken guys supposed to do? And it feels like it's just, it's kind of impossible to even try to fight.
Well, you can
6K
always
behind.
try, but yeah, no, nothing more than that.
I mean, in simple theory, yes, they were able to get a lot of shutdowns, and look how much these shutdowns helped them. Like, because they were able to get the shutdowns, they are only 6K behind. The problem is, you are 2 inhibitors down, plus you gave away a soul just right now.
That's the cam soul for Back to the Game. That is still the gold lead for Back to the Game, and that is still more items for Back to the Game. I like the fact that the 3 item spike has finally happened for Whitman. Same goes for Roughbean. Now the Cryptor Bloom as the 3rd item for Orianna from the top lane. So the items are there for Forsaken. It's just they came to their pockets way too late, and I don't feel like they're going to survive this last siege.
Well, they need to try.
Yeah.
They need to try. If it's not now, I'm not sure if there's gonna be any situation available for them. 3 items for Kai'Sa is starting to do some damage, but it's not the same Kai'Sa that we saw yesterday. It's not the same level. If Forsaken, imagine that, Forsaken comes back, gets a win. That would literally switch everything 180 degrees, because that would be an insane situation. Unfortunately, we are far, far away from this scenario.
There is always a possibility of one good team fight around, say, an Elder Drake. Stealing the Baron away, stalling the game, waiting until the Elder comes up, having a good fight around it, and with the Elder, you know that you turn the game around immediately. But this is just theorizing. This is just talking out loud. Because there is still that 4 item Zeri on the side of Back to the Game, who is 8-2-3 right now. And who is really hard to do anything about, because if you try to go on her, most likely Shasky is going to be around with the ultimate. Most likely Sisyph is going to be around with an ultimate, and there is nothing Forsaken can say about these two.
I guess. I mean, it's looking like it's about to be over. That's for sure. I mean, 2 inhibitors down. Soon Nash about to spawn, and oh my god, they are doing this again. They are going on Cozy, and Cozy will respect it. He'll just flash away, just making sure that it's just running away, playing it safe. But in the meantime, Back to the Game, they understand. You want to go on Cozy? Sure, go for it. But in the meantime, we are gonna go for Nash.
And we're gonna get the Nash. Easy as that. We're gonna get it quickly enough. It's going to be available for us. It's going to be available for Cozy as well, who still is on the bot lane and who still is going to keep pushing into Rapin and into the lane. So far, there is an inhibitor open on the mid lane. There is an inhibitor open on the top lane. It's only the bot lane that is still standing as the last line of defense for Forsaken before the last two turrets and their Nexus. And I'm not sure how long they can stall the game and how long they can keep their Nexus and their dreams alive for.
I'm not sure either, but they will have to try. Shasq and Salami, two guys that basically made this game a free win for Back to the Game. Now, maybe they are just about to finish it off. On the other hand, Forsaken, all on Whitman, all on his Void Seekers to hit, to find the target. We can see it was one Void Seeker. Sisyph is hurt. He understands, okay, it was just one Void Seeker, but I need to be careful. I need to respect, I need to play it safe, because if I make a mistake, that could be enough for Forsaken to make it work.
It is going to be enough for Forsaken to make it work, honestly. But are we even getting to this point? Because Back to the Game are sieging these last base turret that is standing on the side of Back to the Game, and it's going to go down along with the inhibitor on the bot lane. Maybe the one on the top lane as well. I wonder if Back to the Game are going to stop there, because they feel like they have the strength to go further.
Yeah, but they are missing the poke all the time. Look at that.
That's
Ravin
true.
missed a Shock Blast and Whitman missed a double W. If he misses another one, that's basically it. That's the last, literally, it's their last stand. They need to fight, and he, he hit the minion. That's basically a disaster, because you need to find it. This is the damage that you need to be able to at least stay in this game. Otherwise, it's just gonna be over, and now Whitman went back to base, bought another AP. That's good. A quarter will be poked a little bit. Another W needs to hit. They need to find something for themselves, because if not, Back to the Game are just gonna finish it up.
And Back to the Game are almost all full health. Finally, something finds its target, but Back to the Game still have so much health on their side.
And
They
the
still have the
minions are
minions
coming.
pouring in. Exactly, the
Yeah.
minions, the Winions, the two big minions going through the mid lane. This is going to be the call for victory for Back to the Game.
Forsaken have to engage. I mean, it's now or never. And if it's gonna be never, you're gonna give away your dreams. Your dreams of trying to do something. Charisma basically flying all over the map, just trying to catch Salami, but he's not gonna be able to do it. Forsaken still defending, still buying time. Salami caught off guard, he's dead instantly, but the question is it gonna be enough for Forsaken? Maybe finally, I guess not. Double kill for Sisyph, going for the triple as well. He can do it, because he understands. Triple kill means triple win in this scenario. 3-0, Back to the Game, stomping Forsaken.
19-10. That is indeed stomping. 3-0. Not a single map won for Forsaken in the series today. That is indeed stomping. What a grand performance from Back to the Game. This team, again, is the new addition to Ultraliga First Division. They were playing in the Second Division, went all the way through their relegation to get into Division 1, played through Division 1, started with a very rough beginning in the first weeks, but then skyrocketed to the place where we see them today, getting into the playoffs in their first split in the First Division, and not just getting in those, but performing fantastically in them. And now tomorrow they're gonna be facing Zero Tenacity in their next series. And honestly, Kasper, I am worried for Zero Tenacity.
Well, honestly, it felt like everything just went according to the plan for Back to the Game's side, and they really did play very well. And I'm kind of surprised that they played so good. So, I mean, honestly, I was expecting a win for Back to the Game, but this 3-0, I wouldn't say shocked me, because it's not a shocker, but it's definitely a good news for Back to the Game. Speaking of the things according to the plan, let's speak with Accorder, because he's ready for the interview. Hello, Accorder. How are you feeling after literally demolishing your opponents?
Hello, how am I feeling? You know, victory always tastes good, but not when there is no effort in it.
So it doesn't taste good, this one.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't feel bad, but you know, it feels less good when you are prepared for it.
So you were I like it. But cool. Tell me, please, about the draft for the third map, because there was Zeri taken by Forsaken for the first 2 games against you. Was that pick of Zeri for you in the last game a statement, or what was it?
I mean, since in this series a lot of ADKs were banned in the first phase, both teams had to look in the lower tier, and we think that Kai'Sa is one of them, and we know, and Forsaken knows as well, that Zeri is pretty decent answer to it, especially on lane. So we just felt like there is no better option than Zeri, and we just did better than a minute.
And you certainly did. It definitely proved. You definitely proved the point. My question is gonna be very quick, just very quick. How do you feel about tomorrow's matchup versus Tenacity? Because obviously, it's gonna be a very hard game.
I mean, when we started screaming for playoffs, we knew that we are not only screaming for the Forsaken, but also for the match after it. We are pretty convinced that going into the series that we are about to win if we don't do anything wrong and do as planned. And as Kosi said in our video on the Twitter that our organization posted, we are the only team that can that is danger against those top 2 teams, and tomorrow we're gonna do everything we can to prove it.
I can't wait. You know what? I can't wait for your match against Zero Tenacity. Can we expect, like, don't show me your cards, obviously, but can we expect anything unusual and spicy from you in the series tomorrow?
I mean, we have prepared some off meta picks or some picks that we just didn't pick today because enemies. I think that enemies didn't really adapt well to the games and played the same, so we didn't have to do any cheeses or any like crazy picks. So we have them prepared. We're just waiting for opportunity for them.
Nice. I can't wait to see you playing against Zero Tenacity tomorrow. And of course, good luck going into this matchup. But as the tradition still goes, even in the playoffs, if you have any greeting or shout out to give to anybody, maybe even in your native language, you can do so right now.
Okay, so I'm a little bit in hurry, and didn't prepare shoutouts like I do in most of my interviews. So I'm just gonna go for standard and shout out all the fans that we got through the entire split that are cheering for us, entire back to the game community and organizations that allows us to improve ourselves and just play better and better, and all the cat persons.
We take it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Akora. And again, good luck in the series tomorrow. We can't wait to see what you have prepared for us.
See you.
See you. So
And-
that was Akora. That is Veteran back with us to replace Akora.
Hi.
I'm sorry for interrupting you, Kasper, but we have to switch to Veteran since he just joined Veteran. We need to hear it
Sure.
from you. Any feelings, any opinions, any hot takes?
I mean, I definitely disagree on whether Zeri was like a particularly solid pick here. I think he doesn't want to talk about the Nocturne interaction there because I think the purpose of the Nocturne would to prevent Kai'Sa just jumping on top of him whenever landing the W. However, unbeknownst to him, that Kai'Sa couldn't land a W even in melee range. That was how Zeri was able to get that kill on Alistar on bot, was because when Maokai goes in, holds it for Kai'Sa actually missed the W at melee range there, and that allowed the Zeri to get over the wall and then force the Tribus trade. There were like a lot of instances there where individual play on the side of Forsaken gave back to the game small advantages, and those small advantages snowballed. You could see Forsaken getting really desperate on that top dive. But ultimately it was gameplay that got back to the game here, rather than draft. And that's definitely a scary thing for Z10, because if Z10 are off on their game, they can definitely lose to this team.
I mean, they definitely can. It felt like a very weird situation where kinda, I would say, Forsaken were trying to make something happen, but when they went for Renekton, I was like, okay, they lost it. Like, they lost it in their mind, and they lost it outside of their mind as well. It felt like they are just so desperate to make something happen. And yeah, That's it.
Yeah,
That's it, basically.
I definitely also think on that dive, they just weren't on the same page. Like, Gragas was moving forward and then moving back, and then Winnie moved back. Then Vi moved down in towards the Renekton, and so no one was grouped there, so the play went really, really long. And because of a bunch of them just being out of sync like this, the play goes so long that the enemy gets a really good grouping into that 4-man Alistair, right? So it's all these individual instances, like the 2v2 bot we talked about. But for example, mid lane, when Jace died initially, it's because he's playing really away from his jungler. But you're into a Nocturne here, and the reason you play really away from jungler there is to force the enemy mid to diagonal match and be vulnerable to your jungler. But Nocturne's just going to press R&B on you anyway. So it doesn't matter if you play away from his side, you know? None of that matters at that point. So there were a lot of individual instances that we're back to the game, we're able to showcase. We just have a really good understanding of League of Legends, and just by playing these fundamentals, we can win with any draft, any comp, with any kind of playstyle that we have to, even playing into your strong side.
With all these fundamentals and all these right things in the right place for Back to the Game Veteran, what are your predictions for their match against Zero Tenacity tomorrow?
Okay, I'm going to be real. I still think Zero Tenacity just take it straight up, because I don't envision them doing the same mistakes that Forsaken did this time around. Especially, I think in this region, the way early game plays out, Blue Azul's playstyle should be king in those early game pods. And when they were playing against Orbit Anonymo, it was really early skirmishes set up by Blue Azul's ability to track enemy jungle and force them into a bad position that they were able to sort of snowball. No one really ever snowballs against Orbit Anonymo, let's be real, but at least get some kind of an advantage against them, right? And I think that will help them a lot against Back to the Game. But I see unique things from Back to the Game. That's the thing. Like, I would never really see a team even attempt what they were trying to do with Karma in the first game, or that AP Kaiser build. Like, everyone's talked about it. These guys are actually doing it, you know? So there are unique things these guys have, and it doesn't stop there. We know they can pull out more weird stuff than this, and that's the kind of thing you want to do against a team like Z10.
Kasper, what about you?
To me, tomorrow, Z10 are just gonna crush Back to the Game. It's gonna be 3-0. It's not even gonna be competitive. I mean, honestly, look at the levels of these teams. Yes, Back to the Game 1 versus Forsaken. Forsaken didn't even know what their names were today. I mean, like Veteran said, the guy couldn't even hit a W melee range. Like, what are we expecting?
It's actually harder to hit W and B range. At least
I get it.
Okay, I'm a bad player. I should stop making examples.
You know, like, I'm also kind of coping a bit that, like, weird picks will do enough. I think Kleb's ultimately right. Like, there is a better team coming in tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, my granddad would have hit that W, honestly. Straight up. I'm not even joking. Just put him in the computer and he hits that W. I mean, sorry, I love Back to the Game. I really wish for an upset tomorrow. I really hope that we see long 5 maps, maybe possibly even 3-2 for Back to the Game. That would have been a dream scenario. But I'm going with my gut feeling. It's going to be 3-0 for Zero Tenacity, and that's my thought process here.
I'm gonna go for 5 games tomorrow. I'm still gonna think about who's going to win those 5 games, just because out of spite, I always predict 5 games in the plays for Ultraliga. But I think there is one thing that we're not taking into consideration. It's not really that important, but it's the curse for Zero Tenacity. The fact that in the previous split, the scenario was absolutely the same, with so many hopes on them, and then them going in the losers bracket and losing there and never getting to the finals. I'm just really afraid it could be the case again. But I'm afraid I have to agree with both of you. It is Zero Tenacity who do look stronger on the map, who should in theory be able to take those victories tomorrow, but we will have to wait and see until it happens. Before that though, any final thoughts about today's matches, Veteran?
I think it's going to be 3-1 Z10 tomorrow, based on everything, because I do think Back to the Game are going to do some really crazy draft that they don't expect, like the AP Kaiser thing that came out today. They'll have one, and the only other thing that I would say would be, please send your hate mail to Kleps. All right, he is the guy that really all in on the W missing thing. Okay, I'm gonna move into an agnostic state on it.
Okay, fine, we take it. But Kasper, what about you? Final thoughts to wrap up today.
Final thoughts. Interesting day. Definitely, I would say it was an interesting day to see. But I feel like tomorrow is going to be the day that we've been waiting for, because Z10 struggled a lot in the game versus Orbit Anonymo. Back to the Game, were able to get through a Forsaken, and that, in a simple theory, if you look at this way, that could mean that they are about to maybe surprise Z10. We will see. I'm not quite convinced, but they will need to convince me. They will need to convince me, and they will have the floor to do so. So I'm hoping to see that myself.
I am hoping to see competitive and bloodbathy League of Legends tomorrow. But before that, we are going to have to take a break, breathe in, breathe out, and be prepared for the games tomorrow. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us for this series today. And a huge thank you for Veteran for joining us for the whole show today. Also, as always, a huge shout out to Mayudek for being our pre-show host and to Kano, our production. My name is Solari. I was joined here forecasted by Kasper Clipsidro today. Thank you, everybody. We will see you tomorrow for more games like that.
Sí, ¿vos de qué parte sos?
Yo de aquí.
Ah, mira,
¿Tú de qué parte eres?
del norte.
Oh man, I feel like that was my best intro ever.
Yeah, not bad, hey, not bad. Saying, I can go pro. You know it as well. I also know you can dance. You should join me next time. And yes, I feel like you've also deserved a bit of a break. You've earned it.
Thanks.
Even the biggest champ needs a break.
Good job.
Hey, thank you.
Wjedź do elektryzującego świata esportu i zagraj z nami. Moc energii zapewnia elektryczna Kia i B6.